What is going on? This is the Co-op Cousins podcast. Welcome to episode 1 of our podcast. This is a gaming podcast. Talk about everything gaming because, you know, when we don't talk game, it just ain't the same. So, on our first episode, figured it gets dressed up for the occasion. You know, why not?
Yeah, me too. I wore my Flash shirt, so I dressed up.
Representing. Love it. So here we are broadcasting live on Twitch, and this is going to be displayed on YouTube at a later date. Should be later tonight, early morning. And basically, I'll give you a rundown of the show and how it works. So in this show, it's pure games. We talk about gaming news. We talk about things we like in gaming. We talk about things that aren't getting talked as much in gaming that we think deserve to be. Just anything all around, all encompassing. So.
Now, are we going to talk about like hating on games? Because I'm not a big fan of like, taking and smashing stuff. Like, what do you think, Jerry? Is that going to happen, Gerbird, Leone?
Oh, my TV just turned off. I had to turn it back on. That was a great timing. But
oh yeah,
we can have rants if we want to. I mean, people love rants.
Okay.
Well, it has to be a fair rant. If we want.
Okay.
If it's like bullshit that's going on, I'll fucking let you loose, dude. Like Spider-Man's all over again, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Like what I was gonna say. Well, I was gonna bring up No Man's Sky with people's disappointment with that, but
yeah, dude, anything is game on this show. As long as we're not like waving our dicks around on screen and getting banned, I think we're okay.
Well, that's if you're on Periscope. That's when you wave your dicks around. That's how you get views on Periscope.
Oh my god, really? Does that work?
Apparently.
We gotta fucking start hosting on Periscope, man. Holy shit. So basically, as you can see from the top of our cameras, I'm Jerry, aka Leonesaurus, and here is my one and only, well, maybe not one and only, but my cousin, Mike Dorito.
I was gonna say your one and only cousin, Mike. So yeah, I think that makes sense.
True.
Dorito is my gaming moniker.
Yes.
Been that for a long time.
No copyright claim, but we're not gonna get involved in that. So,
I actually had when Xbox 360 did they had some Doritos thing going on. I actually made my gamer tag a picture of a Dorito when they did that.
Didn't they contact you that one time, or somebody called you about?
No, dude, people have called me about taking my gamer tag because it's just Dorito, Dorito. People have called me telling me they were Microsoft. People have called me like threatening me that they're going to hack my account and take my gamer tag.
Wow.
I'm like, why do you want my game? And I've had people offer me money for my gamer tag.
How much?
Just a few weeks ago. They didn't say. They're like, how much do you want? And I'm like, I'm not going to sell it. I mean, like, what do you want? Like $100 for it? I have 3 years of Xbox Live backed up on this. Like, that's a couple $100 right there. Why am I going to sell my gamer tag for $100?
Yeah, seriously.
I wouldn't do it. I mean, I guess can I just delete it and then they take it without me losing, like me change it or something like that, so I don't lose all my. I don't know. I don't know what their plan is, but they're not approaching me the right way. If they're like, hey, I'll give you $1 million for your gamer tag, I'll consider it. But
it's got to be somebody
below that. It's like.
What is the company? Frito-Lay? Is Doritos a part of?
Oh, no, I think it's just people wanting the name, because I see other people with Doritos name, but with, like, other shit in it, but just the fact that it's Dorito, people are like, oh, I want that name. And I get random friends requests, too, from people about people I don't know just want to be my friend on Xbox Live just because of my name. I'm like, you're not a real friend if that's the only reason you want to friend me on Xbox Live.
Fucking cocksuckers. I've nobody to do that with mine, so I can't really say about a common name. It's not really a food item, but...
well, it's awesome. I like your name. It's original.
Well, I went through quite a bit. I mean, you can remember some of the ones I went through.
I don't remember them too. I remember, like, No, I don't remember the many other ones
I
that you
do
had. I just
remember
remember.
for a while I had Chris Redfield. Literally, that was one of my names for a while.
Oh, did you delete that
I
or change
changed it.
it?
I did change it, and
And that was your
that was
Xbox Live
actually
gamer tag.
yes, that was back
You could have sold.
maybe yeah that but that back during that was during the Resident no not Resident Evil well yeah probably Resident Evil 5 days, but that was definitely during the Gears of War days. I remember playing with Chris and you, and I think we were playing like on Mansion and shit, and I did remember having that gamer tag there, and I ended up getting rid of it or something at
I
some
don't know
point.
why. That's crazy. If you had that, like, make a new one. Don't delete that. Don't get rid of that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with the one I got now, but my
Oh
moniker.
no, it definitely suits you.
Yeah, well,
Well, I remember when you were little, you wanted to, like every kid, you're like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, I want to be a fireman. Oh, I want to do this. And be like, hey, Jerry, what do you want to do when you grow up? You'd be like, I want to be a paleontologist
I still
or
have
some shit.
those thoughts, man. That would be great.
I know,
The
but you were
only
saying that when
the
you were saying that when you were like 5 years old or something.
the only reason I did not go through with that is one, I fucked up in geology because rocks, dude. Who would have thought? And um, secondly, there if I went through with that, no video games, man. Like out in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere. I mean, it's a trade-off, but I love games so much that like I can't live without them. I have to be close to them. I'm an addict. Okay,
Yeah, you are.
so
All right, so
let's get on to the main news topics we're gonna start with. So pull up over here. We're going to start with a little something that launched recently called PSVR. Some of you guys might have heard of it. Little thing. I didn't get one yet because I'm broke. Broke back mountain over here. Or broke ass mountain, I think would be a better moniker. But you got it though. You
I
did
like
get it.
Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
I
Well.
did get it. I pre-ordered. I remember listening to a podcast years ago, like 2 years ago, when they first announced Project Morpheus,
Right.
and I was like so fucking excited. I'm like, okay, this has just got to be so far off. Like VR actually in my house just got to be so far off. I can't imagine it. And it was earlier this year that they did the pre-orders. They didn't even say when it was coming out. They said first it was supposed to be earlier this year, and then it was supposed to be like mid-year, and then it turned out to be October. And they launched the pre-orders in March, and it was March or April. And I remember like the day they said, "Oh, it's going live at 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock, whatever it was."
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I was like ready. I was not at places where I should be on my phone getting ready to order VR headsets, but I was on my phone ready to order the VR headset as soon as it went live. And the only one they let you pre-order was the $500 one, the one that comes with the motion controllers, the camera, and a game. And that's the first one that went live. So I pre-ordered that, even though I already have motion controllers and the PlayStation camera, because I wanted to guarantee myself a VR headset. And then the the next week the other one went live, so I ended up pre-ordering the one with just the headset because that's all I needed. Which I feel like they kind of fucked me a little bit, like for being a loyal Sony supporter. And I brought this up in my unboxing, which was I spent I have motion controllers, I have the camera, I'm a loyal Sony supporter, but the people that are just buying the VR headset that need the motion controllers and the camera, they get a game included and I don't. Like, why is that? Like, I don't get that. You know what I mean, Jerry?
That's a good rant video right there.
It is. Like I'm kind of annoyed because people like somebody I know that just got a
Oh, look at
PSVR. He
this.
spent the
The shark
100.
shit. You see that? Oh,
Oh yeah, I played that. I played that.
how is that? I saw some people
It's
playing it. It looks really cool.
it's really cool. Like if you just saw the guy like that was like yelling at him in front of his face.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why that's really interesting. Was when you're doing that, you can like move to the left and to the right, and the guy's head follows you and watches you as you're doing it. It's fucking
That's
crazy.
pretty awesome. Yeah, right
Yeah,
now,
I mean,
I feel like we're in a time where there are the early adopters who don't mind getting in, who have the money to blow on it, that want to just be a part of it. And then there's the people that don't have the money and really want to spend it on something that's going to be worthwhile. And then there's the people that are kind of like not sure. They're kind of like, well, should I get one right now? Is it worth the money? Am I going to be using it? Is it a gimmick? Is it like the Wii or something? Is it like
I don't think
3D?
it's like the way
This is
I love it.
this is how I think. Speaking as someone that's never touched VR, never seen anybody play it except for on a screen, um, the way I feel about it is, I think at this point it's a gimmick, but I think it has tremendous potential down the line.
then it wouldn't be a gimmick. Then
Right now, it's being treated. It's like maybe gimmick's not the right word. I think it's just like it's the hot shit right now, and it could
yeah.
blow over or it could keep going strong. I think compared to 3D, we could have some incredible VR.
By the way, I played Uncharted 3 completely in 3D when it first came out. So that tells you what kind of person I am.
Well, there you go. two opposite ends of the spectrum right here.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I really do feel. I honestly believe, like, even though I've never touched it, and even though I may not buy it anytime soon, I do see tremendous potential. Like because right now all they are like Universal Studios rides. You go on, it's on rails. You know, you have shooting segments, kind of like Men in Black at Universal. You have like your Jaws.
Well, that's what.
You have your Jaws ride. But I think that eventually it's going to reach a point where you can play a game like Resident Evil 7 completely in VR, and that's the experience.
Well, that comes out in January.
Right, but that was based off an old tech demo called Kitchen. And they
yes,
converted.
And I did play the Kitchen demo. It's included in the demo disc for the PSVR. They do have that. But one thing I will say is they had a free game on there. I can't remember what it's called. PSVR something or other. It's a free thing you can download on there on the PS4.
Is it PS4 Worlds or something? I think it might be this that we're watching.
No, the VR. Well, the PS. That's that right there. But this is a free game. Like this is the game that they keep showing you is the one they didn't fucking give me because
good deal.
Oh yeah, but there's this other game. It's just like a 3D platformer,
right.
And it's not. It's interesting. Like the game's like. If it wasn't in 3D, it wouldn't be anything special at all.
Right.
But basically, you're playing the game from a third-person perspective, and you see the character, and you're moving the character around, and you can look around and look up and look down and see different places that you can go. But you're basically think of it like a Mario 64. Obviously, nowhere near the quality of Mario 64 as far as gameplay or like levels and stuff, but Mario 64 is like an open 3D platformer, but your camera is your headset, and you're looking around, and you can control it. It's not first person, which I think was a really interesting way to play, and I actually really enjoyed playing that game.
Wow!
So that was that's something different other than just the first person VR that we're used to.
Yeah.
Assuming it's gonna be.
Shark demo really screams to me, but what screams to me even more, like I don't know if you played it, but I was a huge fan of Alien Isolation, one of my favorite fucking like survival horror games. Played on PC, max settings. Game ran buttery smooth, looked great, nice lighting. People have tested that in VR in the past when that was new, but it was like non-official support. It was people messing around with the PC.
They've talked about making an official VR for that.
Would probably sell me. That like experiences like that, full non-demo, full game experiences that work in VR. That is the kind of shit that's why I'm saying compared to 3D, because like I don't even use 3D on my 3DS. I just play it because I like the 3DS and the games lineup. But for like PC gaming or which I primarily play on, or consoles when I have the exclusives that pop up on occasion for me to play, like Uncharted or whatever. I would love to get the VR headset that could work maybe cross-platform. I would prefer the PC version if I can get it to work with the console or whichever. I mean, because this stuff gets really expensive, but whatever one does shit like that more, I would love. So yeah, VR, it's still pretty new. It's going to have some early adopter days and testing and stumbling around to get to where I think it will be eventually. But
I think it's already a lot of fun, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, they're not full AAA games where you play the games for, anywhere from 10 to, whatever, however many hours you put into it. But just being able to get in there, like I was playing Batman Arkham VR, and there's this part where you hit a button and you can look at full scale models of like Robin and Nightwing, and you hit the button and they pop up in front of you.
I saw that.
And they're just
Batman
and like and I'm like looking at them and they're like right in front of me, and I feel like a Battlestar Galactica kind of thing. They're fucking Cylons. They're about to come alive and like fucking attack me or something, or like they're like fucking robots that are gonna come at me at some point. It's fucking crazy.
Battlestar Galactica VR mission where you're in space fighting Cylons and shit would be
that's why I almost bought what is that? Eve Valkyrie?
Oh yeah.
No, Eve Valkyrie. It's like literally like it's you're shooting out of the space station like just like the Raptors did in Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
And I swear, you know what? I want to look it up, and I haven't yet. But I swear to God, the girl that's talking to you sounds just like Starbuck when you're in space.
She was in a couple games. She was in the Call of Duty recently, wasn't she? And
well, if she's in Eve Valkyrie and she's telling me what to do while I'm in a fighter pilot, I will buy that game just on that alone.
I think that was
because that was amazing.
Might have been. We have to get somebody watching to fact check that for the next one. But yeah, this is actually watching you play on your channel, your YouTube channel. This is you playing. What is this game?
Oh yeah, this is Until Dawn: Rush of Blood.
Okay, so I have.
Yeah, this was
play this.
Yeah, I mean this is kind of cool. I mean, the main thing I like about it this is what you were saying before about like more like a ride. Obviously, you're on a roller coaster kind of thing, and it actually reminds me of like Haunted House at Disney World mixed with like the Toy Story ride where you're shooting things for points and stuff like that. Where you're just on a ride and you're on like literally like they call it an on rails shooter, and this is literally on rails.
Yeah.
But it's like you look at your hands.
Wow.
Like, and you can see the guns in your hands. You can see them. Like, I look at my hands and I feel the triggers on the game, and it looks like it looks to me like I'm actually pulling the gun triggers, and I'm holding a gun in my hand. Like, it messes with your head, and it makes you actually think like you're holding that gun in your hand. It's insane. Like, I don't know how to describe it other than just saying it makes you feel like you're actually there, and that you're holding these things in your hand that you're obviously not, and you're shooting and you're reloading and doing all this stuff. I will say it was a little weird. I've only played through 3 levels so far. They're all on my YouTube page right now. But every level that you start, you go into something's mouth, which is kind of weird. Like the first one, you go into a clown's mouth. Like the second one, you go into exactly. The second one, you go into a pig's mouth, and then the third one, it was like this witch-looking lady. I don't know if she was supposed to be a witch or a zombie, but you go into her mouth, and that's the way all the levels kind of start. There's like a little intro, and then you go through the mouth. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Like you see me going crazy there with the controllers in my hand. I'm just having a lot of fun, man. I'm just like you like duck into the side and everything because there's like blades and you literally need to move out of the way of them. And
you're like so into that shit. You're like playing the fucking what is that? The drums or some shit.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know how I kind of describe it is I compare it to Dead Rising, the VR right now.
Yeah.
And what I mean by comparing it to the original Dead Rising game is I would not give that game a 10 out of 10. But I will tell you, like, from like a level of like the way the game was designed, it was okay. It was a decent game. But I will tell you, the fucking fun you had while playing it just outweighed any like issues, technical, whatever that you had with it. Like, it's just a matter of it's not the best made game. It's not a perfectly made game, but do you have fun playing it? That's my question. And if you have fun playing it, then even if it's a game that's a 6.5 or 7.5 out of 10, or however you want to fucking grade the games, if you enjoy it and you had fun, if you spent an hour playing it and you enjoyed it and you were laughing and you were having a good time, then you got your fucking money's worth. That's my opinion.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. And for the people that aren't sold on that yet, I think they will be more inclined by the time more full-fledged games that they're normally purchasing get VR support. So like big games are starting to get that. Final Fantasy 15, even though it's not.
I know. I'm gonna play that.
Even though I heard from people at the shows, they said the one that they played is not the one that's gonna be in the final game apparently. But they said it wasn't good. They said the Star Wars one was okay. They said Resident Evil. I heard some mixed opinions on the Batman. I heard really good things on. So right now.
But the Batman's like an hour to an hour and a half long game.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably gonna be longer for me because I'll sit there looking at Nightwing's face for a half hour, like, oh my god, this guy looks like he's standing right in front of me, like, just being in awe of what's going on. Like, this is where the game got kind of trippy. Like, if you look here, like, you're going down a hallway, and I feel like I was on acid.
That one PT game, it's kind of reminded me of Resident Evil a little bit, like in a mansion.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I've read the reviews for this game, and they're like, oh, it's okay, it's like a 7, blah blah blah. But I had fun while playing it. Like I said, that's the most important thing. That's why we play games, to have fun, to escape, to do something different. It's just like I really like the Until Dawn game too. So I mean, that helped me get into this game too. I think, even though it doesn't make much sense in the Until Dawn storyline.
Yeah.
I don't know if you played it at all, but it was a good
No,
game.
I haven't. I have seen some of it. I have seen a good portion of a playthrough. It looks pretty cool. But yeah, this reminds me of like arcade shooters I used to play, which I really love. Like House of the Dead
Yeah, and
5, if it came out on
yeah,
this thing, would be pretty cool.
exactly. I would love to play like shooters like that, like in VR. I just hope I want to support it. One, I'm really enjoying playing it, but I
Right.
want to support it. I want more people to buy it because I don't want it to be something that Sony or other companies that are making VR headsets see as something that people don't want. Because if everybody wants to wait for like the third generation. Oh yeah, and this is where a bunch of fucking guys came out, and like you just had to keep reloading and shooting. But if people don't support it early on, then you're not going to have the software to back up the hardware, and then if you don't have the software, you're not going to have more people buying it. It's just like this whole cycle where if you don't invest at the beginning, then it's long term it's not going to work out.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I'm glad that the bigger studios are getting talked into it, like Square Enix and the guys that do the Batman games.
Well, Square Enix, two games they have that Final Fantasy, and they have Tomb
Yeah,
Raider.
that's right. That's
There's like
right.
the VR. You go like explore Lara Croft
Yeah,
Mansion
yeah,
in
yeah. That's
VR.
right. I remember. There's some other ones. I know Star Wars got in with Star Wars Battlefront on PlayStation
Yeah,
4.
I had Star Wars Battlefront on the Xbox One, and I
Yeah.
bought it on the PS4 when it was on sale a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
just in anticipation of because you have to have the Battlefront game to get the VR mission. So I literally just bought the game for the VR mission,
Right, right.
even though I didn't play the Xbox One that won that much.
Man.
I don't fucking know. Fuck it.
Wow. I'm really interested to see where VR goes. Like I'm gonna keep my
I'm gonna
eye
keep
on it.
putting,
I do want to
and
try
I'm gonna
it
keep.
eventually. I do want to try. They should get them.
Anytime you come over, Jerry, you can try it out. I'm about to put up another video. I'll put it up probably tomorrow because it's getting late already and we're doing the show tonight.
Yeah.
But I did Job Simulator, which has been on PC for a while, but obviously just launched with the PS4 VR. And I'm going to be putting my playthrough of the kitchen one. I kept saying, like, every time I was like, okay, this is the last order I'm doing. I'm getting off because cutting up all this food is making me hungry. But
Yeah.
I just kept going. It was like an hour of my life that I just spent, like, making food, throwing bottles, drinking wine, eating food that made me throw up, all kinds of crazy shit. It was fun, though. It was definitely fun. It was just, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's crazy. You got to try it to understand. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, it's they got a lot of hopes on that VR. It's it's something, man. It's something. All right. So, what I'd like to move on to next is let us talk about a little game called Final Fantasy XIV Bloodstorm. This is a new expansion that was just announced this recently past FanFest weekend in Las Vegas. Pretty exciting stuff. I watched the whole live stream on Saturday, and it was Friday and Saturday. And basically, this is wrapping up the entire Heaven's Ward expansion that just is coming to a close. There's a few more. There's like another patch or two, I think, in, but it should be launching sometime in early or late spring 2017. And whole new area. Level caps raised from 60 to 70. There's going to be at least, I would imagine, 3 new jobs. We already know one's coming. We have a hint of.
What's the hint?
Well, the producer director Yoshida, he likes to mess around with people, and what he does is he pulls his shirt up and he lifts up another shirt underneath because he has like a jacket or whatever, and he has like the Marvel's there's like a Scarlet something, Marvel.
Scarlet Witch?
Yeah, he pulls up the Scarlet Witch, and everyone was like going crazy because he thinks Red Mage, because it's not in the game yet, and a lot of people were like cheering on. Because last year for Dark Knight, he pulled up a fucking Batman shirt, and it was the Batman logo, and he couldn't say what it was because of the PR team and stuff. Because like they do 3 fan fests, they do one in America, they do one in Europe, and then they do one in Japan. So what they did was they did it. I went to the one in 2014 in Las Vegas a while back, which was awesome. I couldn't go this year, which sucked. But I did watch the whole thing, and the next one they're gonna do is in Japan. They're gonna have more info and stuff. But and then after that, they're gonna conclude with Europe. And
Now, Final Fantasy XIV is actually the most I don't want to say popular, but the most successful MMO after World of Warcraft. I want to say right now.
Definitely.
It's and and it's kind of surprising after the launch of the original Final Fantasy 14 that was so different than when they relaunched it a few
You were there
what
with
like when they
me when we played
I
the first
was.
one, and I
I couldn't take it. I wanted to break things while I was playing that
I
game. I was like,
remember
you had to go to the auction house, but there was no auction house. You had to buy like you had to find one person to buy
we
your
were
feet armor from and something.
We were in Limsa Lominsa, and
Yeah,
at the time, because they had these things called bazaars, like in 11, where like you walk up to people and you can basically search their things that they're selling on their person. You didn't have to go to like an auction house at the time. And I remember like you were trying to find like a fucking weapon or something, and you just like
I was
flip
trying to find a piece of armor or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
Yeah, it
like
was
you
just
found like a lance, and you're like, oh wait, this one's actually better. And like you were just getting so frustrated, you're like, fuck this. And I'm like,
because I had to go walking around and looking at examining different people and see what they
yeah,
were selling to buy stuff, and I was just like, but yeah, it's surprising like how much they turned that game around and impressive, really, like what they did with that. So I
definitely.
mean, and I'm glad to see it still going. I want to get back on there at some point. It's just it's one of those games that are just really time consuming to play, and I really like it and enjoy it. But when you have other obligations, it's just tough to get into an MMO and maintain.
Yeah, man, like it's even tough for me because like I used to play, I was so addicted to it. Which actually is one of the reasons why I stopped doing my videos in the first place. I didn't want to work because it was so much work. I just wanted to play, and I had so much I wanted to do with the game. I wanted to do like let's plays and all that stuff, and like it just it was too much. It was too heavy. So I just said, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But lots of news. Like we still don't even know all the news. Like all we know is we have this sweet trailer, which I'm gonna bring up in a sec. Here it is. It's an awesome CG trailer. It's only a snippet, but it's showing off basically this expansion. Okay, so the last expansion focused on Dragoon. It was basically an homage to Final Fantasy IV.
So how many times did you come like listening to that, like having Dragoon enter the game?
Um, well,
Like how excited were you?
it was pretty cool because it was going to this city, and here it is right now. This is the actual CG trailer. But yeah, Dragoon was pretty awesome. I play Summoner main now because
Oh really?
there's no pet class for Dragoon like in 11. So Summoner's the only.
Oh, there's no pet, so like the whole point of Dragoon is like
Nope,
wasted.
well, it's like Kane from Final Fantasy IV, where he's just like Cecil's best buddy, and that
Yeah.
and there's actually like a Cecil-like character in the game, and and the Dragoon that's actually the main character in the game is a lot like Kane, and it's a lot of cool power. It's basically an homage to 4. It's so awesome. It's if you got sick of Final Fantasy in recent years, this definitely goes back to that classic traditional sense. And the cool thing is, like, since you're such a big fan of Final Fantasy X,
Oh yeah,
what
huge
comes
fan.
with this is actually, and I'll pull it up in a sec if you haven't seen it yet, because I think I sent you like a picture, but just for people
Now, did I
watching.
have to order the live stream to get this?
I don't know if you can, because you can get the archived footage of it, and basically, you get an outfit. You get a choice between one of two outfits, and you get a minion. And there's 3 streams, like I said, in the 3 different regions. And if you get all 3, you get a Una minion, which is like a little pet that follows you around, but it's like a little like toy thing that like she follows you. You'll see it in a sec. There's a Riku, and then there's a Lulu. And then for the costumes, it's Yuna and Tidus. And basically, for Tidus, it's for males, and then for Yuna, it's for females. So
All right, listen. If we're gonna talk Final Fantasy X, we're gonna say
I
Titus.
know you with the Titus. You with the fucking Titus. Hey man, I'm a stickler for saying things like properly. It's just like I go based off how other people say them.
Dude,
And
fuck that. I remember like I loved Final Fantasy X. I beat that game, and then I played Kingdom Hearts, and they introduced all the Final Fantasy characters in there, and they called them Tidus, and I was like, the fuck is Tidus?
huh,
It's Tidus. It's Titus. Like, come on. It just annoyed the shit out of me.
yeah,
But that's one of the things. They never said his actual name. You just because you could have made any name that you wanted in the game, so that's the only one they didn't actually say in the game.
yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up here. But so yeah, it focused on Dragoon last time. Now Monk is actually uh, getting the spotlight, which is pretty cool.
Wasn't Monk already in it in Final Fantasy
Yeah,
14?
but what they do is they focus on the story around those characters, and it tells a story about like a city, because like there's a Garlean Empire, similar to like previous Final Fantasy games. There's like an empire that wants to conquer the world, sort of like Star Wars. And there's this
Yeah.
one town called Alamigo, which is like this city of monks, and they're taken over by this empire. And the whole story leading up into this expansion is how they take it back, and how they and how they liberate it. There's like a lot of characters that carry over from the previous expansion. So you have to. It's a continuous story. It's not like separate stories. It's just like one big long narrative. It's like seasons of like a TV show. It's really cool. And it's pretty awesome, but and it's not even that big of a time. Yeah, see, here it is right here. Here's the Yuna, and the Riku and the Lulu. These are the minions that you get. So we for Las Vegas, we got Riku. Japan gets, I think they get Lulu, and then the Europeans get Yuna. And this is the costumes that you get. Last year, this is what I got for going to 2014. Fucking Moogle costumes. So you can troll people in them. But this is the one that you get this time. Now, I don't know. You can go check, but because the archive footage is available for a while, but I don't know. So like, if you want to get all 3 minions, you might have missed your chance. But you can still get Titus or Titus, the Abe's attire. They call it Abe's. Wasn't that the Blitzball?
The Xanarkin Apes. That was the team that he played for.
Yep. So that's the those are the outfits that you can get for that.
Not really the fucking the outfit for the team though.
No. But I mean like for Titus or Titus and then Yuna. So
you can say Titus. I'll just hate you. It's fine.
It's okay. We'll live. We'll make it through. But going back to the trailer, seeing if it loaded. It's having some stability issues. Let me see if I can turn down the quality just a tad.
Yeah, I mean, you're not trying to do too much. You're recording this and streaming me in and yeah.
But yeah, dude, like this is only a snippet. This isn't the full thing. But basically, the main guy that you see in this video is the I don't know if you remember the old CG trailer for the 14 with that one guy with the short hair, kind of like mine in the game. And he's like, you see him like on the box cover and stuff of the original game. He's like the human dude. He is like a recurring icon for the game, and he gets older as the game goes on. So each CG cutscene they do, there's like 4 of them now, I think. There's the original from 1.0 that we played. There's A Realm Reborn, which is the relaunch trailer. This is supposed to be Dancer, by the way. People are speculating. This could be a new Dancer job. But people think it's Monk. Some people think it's Mimic. They don't know. This is the guy I was talking about, though. This is him older. He was a Dragoon in Heavensward. He became a Dragoon in the CG. And then before that, he was like a warrior, and literally a warrior, and he was a warrior of light. And as he goes through the expansion like we do, he has like a parallel universe where everything is like, he has his own universe but takes place in the same world, but it's from his perspective. And then like we have our universe in the same world where like we kind of go through like what he does. So he's kind of like our icons as players, like what we're going to sort of like be like in the next upcoming expansion. So it's very cryptic. We just know this is the new land that we're going to go to, Alamigo. The city is what it's called, and it's under Garlean rule, the Empire. And it looks pretty sweet. You don't see too much, but it was like hype, man. It was hype for everybody that was there. Because when I was actually there at the 2014 Fan Fest and they played, like, I was like creaming in my fucking pants, dude. I was like all the time. It was so cool because like everybody's like shouting and screaming and going crazy. And this video just doesn't do it justice, but it's pretty sweet. So yeah, it is. Final Fantasy XIV Bloodstorm. It is not coming to PS3. It is being canceled for PS3. No longer PS3 support. They're dropping PS3 support, which is one of the biggest news things that they've triggered because they're increasing the requirements. So the graphics are probably going to go up. The world's probably going to be bigger and shit. So, yeah, no more people. But they're doing a campaign for PS3 people. So people that bought the PS3 version get a free upgrade to the PS4 if they have not already. And, yeah, they're going to be starting that before the game comes out. So they're going to have a promotion with Sony. They're going to set it all up. People can upgrade for free. They just have to buy the PS4.
Now,
PS4.
I have a question actually.
Yeah.
So, if I bought the game on PC, do I have to buy it on PS4 too, or do I just can I just log in? You have to buy it now. What about expansions? Do I have to buy the expansion twice if I own 2 systems?
Yeah, unfortunately, because, well, here's the thing. You can still play the game, but like with 11, where like it would block you out from changing zones to an expansion zone, it'll be like, oh, you have to own this expansion to go here. It'll let you go through all the regular areas you can go into on your console or your PC on the fly, but when you...
But on 11, if I purchased the expansions, it didn't matter where I played them as long as I could install them. I would be able to play all the expansions. I didn't have to buy the expansion
I
for the
thought you have
PS2, and I had to buy it for
I
the
thought you had to do that in the
PC.
past. I know now you don't have to do that because the game's a lot older, not as many people play
Mm-mm.
it. But
No,
I could have sworn
like
you
what
had to.
you had to buy the game to, you had to have the disc to install it, and on the Xbox 360, you actually had to have the disc in, even though it was completely installed. You
Right.
still had to have the disc in to
Right.
play it, but you didn't like. I could, borrow somebody's PC discs, even if I just bought the whole. If I bought the whole collection
Yeah.
on the Xbox 360, if I borrowed somebody's PC discs and installed them on the PC, I could go ahead and just play on there.
Oh yeah, we'll see what they come with now is these codes that you get from the box, and you basically enter it on the Mog Station, and it registers all your in-game items that you get with the collector's editions, and that's how it activates your expansion and all the goodies that came with the version that came with it.
I just feel like if I bought Final Fantasy 14 on my PS4 and I want to play it on a PC now, I shouldn't have to buy the game again.
Well,
Since it's the same, since you log out and play on different ones, like it's the same. I could see if it was like a complete, like a different game, like different servers and stuff like
right,
that, but it's
right.
literally the same servers
Well,
that you're playing on. I can play on
to
PS4.
be fair, the game is it's actually on sale right now. It's 50% off for, I think, the base game. I know Heaven's Word was on sale for a while, but they go really cheap, dude. They're like dirt cheap. They're not like,
I bought the collector's edition when it came out. I
oh,
just haven't had much time to play.
see, it's not
No.
like 40, it's like 20 bucks or less, I think. Like if you get the package, if you've never played the game before, it's like, I think it's 20 bucks for A Realm Reborn, and then it's 20 bucks for Heaven's Ward, and it's 40 bucks total. But it's like cheaper now. It's like always on. I see it on sale quite a bit. It's like right now it actually is on sale because of the FanFest that was airing. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities. I wouldn't advise getting it on Steam for people that have not gotten it, because I hear there's a lot of problems with it. Because if you get a non-Steam version and then a Steam version, they're not compatible. So don't do that. But yeah. We don't have too much info to go on. There's doing a lot of tweaks and changes to the base game already. I mean, I could literally do a video here completely on this for hours. I mean, I used to do this. So people know that are watching this, that have watched those videos. They know I can go on for like ever talking about this. So, yeah, dude, like it's pretty awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. Uh, and yeah, next year. So we're gonna hear more at December, and then probably early in February, I think, is the last event where we'll get the whole enchilada by that point. So all the jobs, probably get more footage and stuff, and yeah, it'd be pretty sweet. So enough of that. Let's go on to another topic. Our next topic will be. Let's see, we want to talk about this one briefly.
Which one?
Dragon
Is
Quest
that the Dragon
Builders,
Quest?
yeah. I've been
I mean,
hearing. I've
I never played Dragon Quest games. The series I always wanted to get into,
right.
and from what I understand, Dragon Quest Builders is like Dragon Quest meets Minecraft, kind
That's what I
of.
always hear when people talk about it. Yeah.
And I've never gotten to Minecraft either, so I really can't speak to that too much. I just
I only
know
played a demo of it, so I really.
I bought it for the 360, and then I
I
broke a couple
actually.
blocks, and then built a couple blocks.
Yeah,
And I was like, "What am I doing with my
I don't
life?"
really think that's your kind of game. Like, there is a story mode, but it's not like on your level, dude. It's just
Yeah.
I've only played the trial version, and I actually enjoyed it. I like digging underground and seeing how far I go and like what I can explore. I thought it was cool, but every time I see people playing, um, excuse me, every time I see people playing Dragon Quest Builders and talking about it, uh, they're always going on about how it's like Minecraft, and I'm like, well, I'm watching people playing the thing, and it doesn't look anything like Minecraft. What it looks like to me is a little bit of Minecraft and a little bit of RPG Maker. It kind of reminds me of. So I don't know, but I've never played a Dragon Quest. Technically, I have touched a Dragon Quest. I played a little bit of Dragon Quest VII, but very, very, very little. Like maybe an hour or less of it, and I liked it. Like this should be my bread and butter. I should love this more than Final Fantasy. I should. It has the Dragon Ball art style, Akira Toriyama's art style. It has Square Enix behind it, making these games, so it has the money to support it, and it has the pedigree to support it. But I don't know. I think what I'm waiting for is a big, beautiful Final Fantasy 15 level Dragon Quest to come out on PS4, PC, wherever, and just suck me in, dude. I want to get into because Blue Dragon is so goddamn close to the looks and the RPG turn-based feel of Dragon Quest and RPGs in general. I loved Blue Dragon on the 360. That was like one of my first like Square Enix type games, even though it's Mistborn.
That was Microsoft's attempt to get into the Japanese market.
Yeah,
really, is what it was.
I still have the game. I love the game, and they actually recently added it to backwards compatibility on.
Did they? I'm gonna probably buy it digitally then, because I never beat it.
That and Lost Odyssey, which I rented one time, and I still have to play through. Everyone says it's great, but I love Blue Dragon, dude, and I keep.
Do you have an Xbox One?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I probably won't, but because most of that I can play on PC anyhow. But I don't know if they add some good stuff on there, I might. But regarding Dragon Quest though, I don't think I'm gonna play Builders. I may go back with it because there is a new Dragon Quest game that they showed off a while back coming to PS4. I believe it's a PS4 exclusive, and it does have a PS Vita tie-in, and it looked really good. Like it looked like a next-gen console Dragon Quest, and I was like, I'll be down for that. Like when that comes out, I'm gonna try and make an effort to play that. And if I like that, sign me up, because a lot of the Dragon Quest games are on 3DS, and I love the 3DS, but it's like I just don't have time to play handhelds. Like I play handhelds when I'm out of the house or power's out or something, or I'm traveling, which isn't a lot. So for me,
that's my problem with handhelds too. Is I love my Vita and I love my 3DS, but when I'm traveling, I'm in the car driving to work or something like that. I don't take a train, I don't take a bus, I don't commute, I drive. And then when I get to work, I got to work, and then when I get home, I'm home. And if I'm going to play a game, I'm going to play a game on my fucking 65-inch 4K TV. I don't want to be confined to the little handheld screen. That's just the way I am when I get home. Like if I was on the bus or commuting where I didn't have to drive, pay attention to what I was doing, I can hold a game system in my hand, I would play every day. But
yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, and they really are good games. I never hear anything bad about them. I always hear the sad thing. It's like a whimper. Like, why isn't Dragon Quest catching on in the West? Why aren't people playing it? I think it's because it's aimed at handhelds that, yeah, they do sell really well. Like the 3DS sells really good, but
I mean, the Pokemon games do really well. I've never played one. I would play a Pokemon game if it was like the NX. They said that there's going to be a Pokemon game for the NX. Pokemon Company has said that, but I'm not sure what the NX is yet. I'm not sure if it's going to be a handheld or a console mix.
It sounds like from the leaks it'll be a hybrid of some sort.
But if I'm going to be able to play it on my TV, if I'm going to be able to play a full RPG on my TV, just relax with a controller in my hand and play a Pokemon game, I would love that.
That's what
I would love that.
That's what Dragon Quest is. Not Builders, but the new Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
I think they're linked. So I think when you play one, you can transfer over to the other. I'm not sure.
There's some Dragon Quest game on the PS4 right now, but it's not. It's like It's more like from what I think that I gotta look it up, but it was more like it's not a normal RPG. Yeah. It was more like a Dynasty Warriors kind of game where it's like just a bunch of battles.
Yeah, I saw that.
I almost bought it. I was like, holy shit. I've been wanting to play the Dragon Quest games for a long time, and now here's one on a console that I can play. And I just watched some videos about it just to make sure I was getting the game that I'd like.
Right.
But it wasn't what I was looking for. I want an RPG. I want Ni no Kuni. I love Ni no Kuni.
Awesome game.
I cannot wait for Ni no Kuni too.
Yeah,
amazing game.
But I have a feeling Dragon Quest would be like that for us if we managed to break the ice on it. But I'm telling you, when that PS4 version, that full-fledged one comes out, I do want to make.
I'm getting that. I'll get that. I'll buy that immediately. Yeah. Like I said, I just need something I can play on my PS4 or my Xbox One, and I can just play those games.
Yeah.
On there.
But I'm hearing good things about it. Like people I'm saying are surprised it's actually a really good little Dragon Quest game. So yeah, good for them, man. Hopefully they do good. I want Dragon Quest and Akira Toriyama's art style and Square Enix's other flagship RPG to do well. Because when Final Fantasy fucks up, what do we have?
I mean, I don't think honestly, other than 14, I don't think I have the whole 13 series they did. I wasn't that into. I think you know
we
that.
Can get into
12
a whole topic on it. That is like a fucking episode and a half.
I literally have right behind me. You could probably see it up here.
Yeah, I see the whole
I have Oh yeah, I got Lightning Returns Collector's Edition. Never opened it. It's still sealed.
Yeah, mine's over there. I got mine up.
Okay.
Basically, all of them are like over there. The whole.
Actually, I think that's a Realm Reborn Collector's Edition up there for the PS3.
Yeah, the top.
And then I got the Final Fantasy 14 or Final Fantasy Lightning Returns Collector's Edition next to Final Fantasy 10 Collector's Edition. Huge Final Fantasy fan. I mean, just the 13 series. Like the story, I don't know. Like RPGs for me, it's about the story.
Yeah, I'll say this: they're not bad games like everyone says they are. They're functioning games. I enjoyed them, but they have forgettable, poorly written stories and characters.
That's what I loved about like Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy IV. Like I was involved in those. I cared about those stories. I cared about the characters. Like Final Fantasy X, I love the characters in that game. Even like people that make fun of like Wakka and like this Waka. Overacting or whatever. Well, you know who does the voice for Wakka is the same guy who does the voice for Bender in Futurama. Yeah. So awesome. I thought that was kind of crazy, but I mean. That's just, that's what I like about Final Fantasy. I like getting wrapped up in the story. And when I'm playing Final Fantasy 13, when I was playing that, I don't know, it just felt like the story just wasn't clicking for me. Like they expected you to know, to know things about the world or learn things over time that you were just kind of dropped into it, which like Final Fantasy X, you were dropped into this world, but you were learning everything from Titus's perspective. I'm going to say Titus. I'm always going to say Titus. Learn from Titus's perspective. Like he was dropped into this world. You kind of got an idea of his world, and then you were introduced. While you were learning about this world, he was learning about this world. So if he learned something was like weird about this world, he thought it was weird. Yeah. So it was just like this. He was your conduit into this other world that he went into, and it was just I really like that. Same thing, Ni no Kuni. Like the kid from Ni no Kuni, he's in a normal everyday life, and then he's your conduit to get into this other world. Yeah. That's what Ni no Kuni is. That's what it means, another world.
Yeah, another world. But this looks cool though. I mean, like I probably won't buy this right now as it's new, but this looks pretty neat. Like he's going inside houses, he can make villages. He's like on the little minecart. That looks pretty neat. Like little things you can just sit on and just like role play. You could have like little towns you could build. I don't know if there's a story to it. I haven't heard anyone say story, so you might not be interested on this one in particular because this seems like a spin-off type. But this is kind of like I can see looking at it now. I can see how they get the Minecraft because there's a lot of Minecrafty little gimmicks and like little things you can play with that are kind of cool. Like that stuff back there, the text and whatnot.
And him being on the roller coaster, or the minecart. It's literally out of Minecraft.
Well,
yeah, all right.
I won't get it now, but I am looking forward to get into this series at some point. I would like to start with that next big Dragon Quest entry. So
when's that supposed to be coming out?
I have no idea, but I'm gonna stay tuned.
Like Kingdom Hearts 3 timeline or Final Fantasy 7 remake?
God, I don't know.
Let's announce those games like 10 years before they're coming out.
I gotta pull a Bethesda and just launch that shit like the night before or something, man. Like I don't fucking know.
Yeah, what was that? 3 months?
Something like that. Yeah. But all right, let's move on to the next thing. I don't know how much you've paid attention to this, but Battlefield 1, that's going to be coming out on... Wow, that's actually in 2 days. Holy crap. Yeah.
Is it really? Honestly, I've been more looking at, and this is going to sound bad, but I mean, I've been looking more forward to Call of Duty this year. And do you know why that is, Jerry?
Zombies?
Nope.
The space part?
Nope.
There's an actor in it, right? Is there an actor? Oh!
Well, there is an actor in it.
Shut up! Don't you say it. I know what the answer is.
What?
Remastered. The remaster.
Yes, Call of Duty 4. Call of Duty 4 HD remaster. 10 of the maps are coming out when the game launches, and then the other maps are coming out. Like, I love Call of Duty 4. That was the first Call of Duty I got into, and the first one. I mean, I played 2 a little bit with you back in the day. I know you did. Maybe they'll do an HD. Well, is Call of Duty 2 backwards compatible? Yeah. I think it is.
Yeah, I can get on Steam too, but like it's so old now. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who plays it. But...
All right, so let's talk. I don't want to switch the topic from Battlefield to Call of Duty, but
like, why the fuck are you looking at this and doing something else? But I never played a Battlefield game. I think I
played a couple of them.
I might have played that World War II one that was like a downloadable arcade game at one point, but I only played it for like a couple hours, so I wouldn't even say I really, really played it. Battlefront for me was my first entry to Dice's like family. Like Star Wars Battlefront,
Okay.
that was like my first. I bought it and I played the shit out of it. Entry. So
I mean,
it's not
yeah.
Battlefield, but and trust me, after playing Battlefield 1's beta, there's a lot more shit going on. Button
Yeah.
wise,
Well,
I didn't even have my buttons set up on my mouse and keyboard, so like it was like fucking it was nuts. It looks beautiful. Like playing Star Wars on a 4K HDR TV on maximum settings on a fucking PC. Fucking jerk offathon, dude. It looks so good. It it looks great.
I mean, it looks honestly, Battlefront looked amazing on the Xbox
Oh
One that I
yeah,
played on.
that's why they're
But
like fucking
but
wizards.
it's not I don't know, Battlefront. Just I don't feel like there's no. I don't know. I want to say soul to the game. Like I feel like there's no. I guess maybe because there's no campaign in it. Maybe
Yeah,
no story. Like there's nothing. There's
yeah,
not much to it.
yeah.
Like I needed something. Like I wanted it to
Dude,
be. I bought it.
I will be so happy after playing this recent because I bought the season pass after they added single player offline bots. I said to myself, if they do that, I'll support them and buy the season pass. I'll hold to my word, and I bought it. So I got the Jabba's Palace map from the Outer Rim. I got the Bespin, and now I just got the Death Star one. And the Death Star is my favorite, dude. Playing in space, dogfighting on the Death Star, in and out on Star
I would
Destroyers,
love to be able to do that in VR.
dude. In on PC playing that, like I was like, Dice, please do a Rogue Squadron game, please,
Yeah.
please.
All right.
I
So
love.
back to
But
Battlefield
back to
One.
Battlefield
Like
One, a great looking
now, my
game,
thing with the battle.
and it has single
Now
player. It has single player.
yeah,
And
it does. It
multiplayer.
has a whole
I
storyline.
buy it
Now,
just for that. Even if I suck at Battlefield until I get better, I would play it just to use as a benchmark, dude. Like,
my thing about Battlefield games in general, and why I've preferred like Call of Duty, SOCOM kind of games,
so
is
cool.
I've been more. Well,
That was fun.
I'm more of a boots on the ground kind of guy when it comes to
Yeah,
shooters. Like
yeah.
I'm not a big fan of vehicles. I'm not a big fan of like I
I
want to be
agree.
running.
Yeah.
I want to be like small contained maps where we can go fight each other and just like I don't know. It's just like that's what I enjoy about multiplayer shooters. Like in a campaign, love it. Like I love doing all kinds of crazy shit. Give me vehicles, give me whatever. Like whatever drives the story and makes that better. But for multiplayer, it's just about like getting the drop on somebody like in a gun. Like yeah, if I get a drop on somebody, if I'm in a tank and I blow up a building, shoot a tank, fucking rocket into a building, I'm like yeah, it's like I killed somebody, but do I feel good about it? No. If I come up behind somebody and I shoot them in the back when they didn't know I was there, I feel better about myself. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, I like when, at least in terms of, because I only played the one map. Have you played Battlefield 1 yet?
No, I've not.
Okay, I did play it.
I
It's
downloaded the beta, but it wouldn't load when I got it because
oh
the
man.
fucking servers were all fucked
I
up
gotta stop
the
because
first
when
day.
I was beta testing it, the first time it ran fine. I was just getting my ass kicked because I wasn't used to the controls and all the extra buttons compared to Battlefront. But when I played it like another day, like another weekend, I couldn't use my fucking weapon. Like everybody in the game, like a portion of people, their weapons were gone. So we were just running around barehanded and shit, like hiding and stuff. It was really wacky, that beta test. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's a beta test, so what do you expect? The game looked great. It ran pretty good. I did not test it at 4K because I did not have 4K running at the time. But it looks like it's fun if you can get good at it. If you suck at it, you might want to stick to Call of Duty if that's more of your thing. If you're better at that, but the single player
Well, like
alone, the single player alone.
this is what I liked about. Yeah, I mean, I want to play this game just for the single player.
Right.
Like, there's some. I actually have Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and I played the multiplayer a little bit. I'm not a big fan of like jetpacks and flying around and shit like that. But I still need to play the. I still want to play the single player with Kevin Spacey. I heard that was a really good single player.
Yeah, but this is the single player footage right now. This is
Okay.
this is all single player. This is not multiplayer. Everything in here is single player. All this shit you'll do solo without having to worry about going online. So you can do this right out of the box. And the great thing about Dice is they can make shit look good on a PC and a console, and you can't even tell the difference half the time unless you're like fucking glued to the screen, like looking at it, like looking at every individual pixel or whatever. But they'll, oh man.
Like that's a whole different thing. Console and PC, right there. That's a whole different conversation. You and I can have
Yeah.
right there.
But
Um,
October 21st, it says it's available worldwide. I thought it was. It said. I thought I looked it up
day
online.
before my birthday. There we go.
Because it said the what is it? It said the 18th. So I don't know if it comes out earlier somewhere, somehow. But it said the 21st there. So I don't know if they changed it or not. But
Oh, that's if it's. I mean, what? That's 5 days as opposed to 2.
yeah. Hopefully I have the money to afford this because.
You know what though? Honestly, before this game, I'm gonna buy Final Fantasy, World of Final Fantasy,
Yeah, I got
the
that
25th.
too.
You got that? Did you get it on? It's only. Is that on PC or is that a PS4 game you're gonna be playing?
PS4. Anytime it's
Okay.
an exclusive, I immediately get on PS4. It's like my second home right there. I'm currently playing Bloodborne
Nice.
on it right now, which is pretty sweet. But
I beat. Yeah, I got that. I've seen you playing that recently. I played that when it first came out. What weapon are you using, by the way?
uh,
Okay, I'm like a bit of a pussy when it comes to that game. I use the great axe.
Oh.
Like, and all I did was like
Oh,
I just
man.
like held it and spun, and I just kept using like the wide attack, so I didn't have to get close to anything. I was like wide attack, hold it, wide
I love
attack.
that game.
But it was fun. Like I've actually been seeing you playing that. It's been making me want to go back and play with like a different
Yeah, I've been
weapon
comparing my
just to
trophy
try it out.
scores the whole time, trying to catch up to you. I've been like seeing like, I wonder how far Mike's actually gotten. I've been like looking at the trophies. And
Oh, I
like,
beat the game.
Oh, you did? Oh, wow, cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving that game. Like I play because I don't want to deviate too much from the side topic. We can get into that more on another taste, but yeah,
Yeah.
dude, those games are great. But yeah, Battlefield though, man, looking pretty explosive. I love the flying. Looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun because I love that in Star Wars, the dogfighting. But
Yeah. Yeah. I'll probably want to get this at some point. I just have so many games that I'm trying to play. Like especially, I got all my VR stuff that I'm playing now. I still need to play like. I just started playing Grand Theft Auto 5 again. I want to beat that. I look at my games library and my head hurts trying to pick what game I want to play.
yeah, Steam.
It's just
libraries are
crazy.
nasty Sometimes I've got so much built up
I
on
mean-
Steam sales.
Yeah, well, I every single Xbox One gold game they give you,
Yeah.
every single PS3 or PS4 they give you with PlayStation Plus. I get every single one. I'm a hoarder, so when it comes to like digital hoarding where it actually doesn't take up physical space
Yeah.
anywhere, I'm just getting everything I can. It's just like
Oh
give
my
it to me,
God,
like face, neck, and chest every time.
All over
Like,
the
just give it to
face,
me.
All over
Oh,
the
yeah.
face. Yes.
Oh yeah. Like I take everything I can get.
Oh man.
Like I think I was talking to you earlier about it. I'm gonna possibly do another little recordings of me playing 30 minutes of each game, like
Yeah,
each of the
dude.
free games they give out on the PS4, Xbox One,
Yeah.
and give my impressions on it and what I think about it.
Be awesome. All right, so wrap up Battlefield, and let's move on to our next topic. Let's see what we got. We have.
Like we're playing like an old school game right now with the player 3, player 4. I love it.
Speaking of this, World of Final Fantasy. We were just talking about this. We'll briefly
Oh,
go
yeah.
over it.
I honestly don't know too much about it.
Neither do I.
And I think that's kind of the way I want to go into the game. I want to just
This is what I heard, and you're probably going to be disappointed. The story I heard is awful because, I mean,
Tell me.
we'll be our own judge. I heard everything else
Yeah.
is great though. I heard the gameplay's fun. It has like it's turn-based combat. It's not real time. From what I've seen at least, it has like a pet system, sort of like Beastmaster from 11, but it's more like 13-2, I would say. But they like stack on your heads like totems. So like you cycle between your pets that you capture and you train, and then you have the two main characters who are like brother and sister, and they go in this world called Grimoire, which is the world that they go in.
Yeah.
And like the other Final Fantasy characters are summons from the games, and fucking Titus is his actual voice actor came back for the game. So all the original
That's awesome.
all the original voice cast for all the
Oh,
characters-
I would love if they did a sequel to Final Fantasy. Like I need to beat 10-2 still, but they
I
made
have to
that
beat that too. I
kind
haven't even started that fucking game, dude.
I started it, but that's a whole different topic we can get into. But I would love another Final Fantasy where they actually have everybody come back for to go back
What
to
about a
Spira and get
remake?
back in there.
A remake.
Well, they did the HD version of them, which I really enjoyed.
Fantasy like 15 graphics, like for 10. That would
I
be
don't feel like we need that. I honestly I like the story. I feel like they could do just like a
if they
sequel.
redid, even if they redid the
I'd rather take the
voices,
story further.
even if they redid like the voice acting, like you love like that
Listen,
classic.
I like the voice acting. Okay, like that holds a special place in my heart.
I love it
The
too, man.
the terrible screaming scene, like terrible screaming. Like I don't know. Like it just resonates with me just because of I don't know. It was 15 years ago when I
It's
played that game,
nostalgic,
and it was
man.
just
Like it's
yeah.
it's
Like
just
I don't
hard to
want
get
them to
rid of
fuck with
that.
that.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to fuck with that. Um, but back to World of Final Fantasy, I don't know too much about it, and I don't think a lot. I think that people shit on
Newer
the
games.
Final Fantasy X story a little bit too. Like it's not it's kind of corny, the acting's bad, stuff like that. But I enjoyed the story in Final Fantasy X. I really did. So I'm gonna keep my. I'm not gonna have my expectations like super high for this game as far as storyline goes. But I take stories for what they are, and I try and enjoy them. I just hate when there's literally no story.
Yeah, I think this one might lean on the side of maybe not as strong a story. This seems more like of a family friendly, more of a young children story where it's more appealing to younger audiences. But I don't know. If the story doesn't work, I still enjoy the gameplay and I'll still play through it. I think 15 is going to be the big enchilada in terms of story.
Now, do you think the 15 story is going to be good? Like, I
think
hope it
no.
is.
If
I hope it
there's
is.
anything I'm confident about, it's the story and the characters because I've played all the demos. I've always loved the characters from what I've gotten from them. The story snippets I've read, I've really enjoyed. I watched the movie. I watched the anime.
How is the movie, by the way? I want to watch that.
Don't go into it expecting a Hollywood masterpiece. It looks beautiful. If you're into the lore already and you've read up on it even a little bit, you'll be down for it. Go into it expecting it to be like the intro cutscene when you leave the menu on at the title screen. And that's
Okay.
it. Treat it like a fucking feature length of that. Don't treat it like it's like Star Wars or Indiana Jones or
An
something,
actual
or Lord of the
movie.
Rings or yeah. So it has professional voice actors. It has beautiful visuals. They look fucking amazing. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was entertaining. I have it. I like it, but yeah, you gotta lower your expectations. Go in knowing not to expect a fucking masterpiece, and just go in wanting lore and backstory and just be entertained. So I don't know, but I would say read up a little bit on like the lore and story and get a snippet before going in, or you kind of be a little confused. But back to World of Final Fantasy, they're not going to have 15 in it because it hasn't been out yet. So they're just going to include 1 through I want to say 13. I don't think they're going to do 14 because it's still ongoing. They want to do games that have ended. So 11 is going to be in there. Shantoto's in the game. They have Lightning, of course. I mean, why wouldn't they miss a fucking chance to shove her in there again? Tidus, Yuna, Tidus, Titus, Yuna.
Tidus Titus. I like that. Tidus Titus is his new name.
Tidus, Titus.
Tidus Titus.
Jesus, I'm a lot of ums and ahs here. Basically, all the characters that have voices.
Well, here, tell me. I'll tell you who, like Final Fantasy X, Riku, Waka.
Characters from Dissidia that did not have voices, like Squall and Cloud. They're gonna have their Dissidia voice actors, I think. So that's what they're gonna use.
Well, I know they had different people voice them in Kingdom Hearts too.
Yeah.
Now sometimes they were the same people.
How that's gonna work, but basically all those characters are gonna come back and they're gonna be your summons. So, but the summons like the Eidolons, the Espers, the Primals, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
They're going to be like story characters, kind of like how they are in 14 and 10 a little bit. So they're going to have more of a presence in the story and challenge them. And I think you can recruit them. I'm not sure. Like, I really don't know a lot about this game. And that's kind of the interesting thing about going into this game is I want to be surprised. I don't know. All I know is the aesthetic, the gameplay, and how it sort of works, but everything else I'm just not sure like how
What I'm excited about is that it's going back to like it seems to me like sometimes like when it looks like the way it looks like right now, it's fine. Like I'm excited, like it looks like an older art Final Fantasy game that I can get into, enjoy the story. But then it has like the really weird looking characters. I don't know what the fuck that's about.
The chibi ones or the like the
Yeah, I guess. Where it's like the same people but they just look different.
I think yeah, because apparently it's a transformation thing. Like I guess in Grimoire, the world, they're like smaller versions, and then when they're taller, that's their real life version. So it's kind of like Ni no Kuni, but imagine if Oliver went into like the other world and he like he changed forms, so to speak. I guess I
Okay.
don't know how. Maybe it's like a puzzle element or a power element if you can change between one or the other, because you
Well, I'm
can.
sure both of you are you getting it right when it comes out?
Well, I already have it pre-ordered on the Square Enix store, so it's gonna be shipping to me whenever.
Okay, I'm probably just gonna get the digital version because
Yeah,
that's just too much work.
but but yeah. So they have like female versions of Ifrit. You can see here. They have a male version. I don't know how many there are, but um, I heard expect not a great story, passable, but everything else seems pretty good.
As long as it's passable, I can enjoy it.
I don't think they said it was 13. They never mentioned that in there, so that might be a positive.
Well, the thing with 13 was like I just didn't feel, I just felt like I didn't know what was going on half the time. Like there was
Lots of
like all
lore
these different
bombs.
levels.
Very
Yeah, like
weird.
you needed to like
Very confusing
you need to
writing.
know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even I read all the encyclopedia articles in that game journal, and even I fucking just.
Yeah, and you were trying to explain it to me. I remember back like when the fucking game came out, and I was like, "Where the fuck did you get on?" Like, yeah, like this is like this, and the level here when you get to, these people are like this, and the way you were explaining it, like you
Yeah.
seemed like you knew what the fuck you were talking about. I'm like, how did you infer that from this game? Like,
Yeah.
where did you get
It's
like
buried.
that?
It's buried in those fucking data logs, like those Mass Effect data log encyclopedia entries.
Oh
Like
my
it's
god!
just.
Like, just give me a
Yeah.
story that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what I want out of Final Fantasy. I want a story that I can enjoy that makes sense.
That's 15
And
right now. That to me, it's 14 and 15. They're the only ones
like
carrying.
15, like I am, like you just made me super excited for 15.
I'm
If it's
down.
got a story that
I
makes
was
sense,
worried about the
I'm
gameplay
excited.
and the stability of that game, because that game ran like shit on frame rate wise and like quality wise before. Everybody was always complaining about the graphics and performance. I was always fine with the story. Like I always found it entertaining every snippet they showed me. So I'm not worried about that at all. If it sucks, I'll be completely fucking surprised. But like I am not worried one iota about that story. Gameplay is another
All right.
thing, because that's the one everyone keeps bitching about. But I don't know. I enjoyed the Dusk Sky demo, so that's all I'm saying. But enough getting sidetracked. That's enough for World of
Yeah.
Final Fantasy. So looking forward to
We'll
that.
just
Hopefully that turns
for
out.
all the worlds of Final Fantasy that we went over.
Yeah. All right. So what do we got next? I think I know what this one is. Gears of War 4.
Okay.
All right. So you played this one. I've seen a lot of gameplay footage.
I have not played the single player yet. Did you get Gears 4?
I didn't. I'm a little short on money. I wanted to, but
I remember we were going to play co-op. That's what you said. You texted me saying like we're going to play this co-op
I still want
because
it.
it's one of those games. It's one of those games you can cross-play from PC to Xbox One, and you cross-buy it, whatever. We can play together. So I've been waiting for you or my other buddy Andrew, waiting for one of you guys so I can play some co-op. Like I don't like playing
that's why
Gears
you
of
didn't
War
start the story
storyline
yet?
because I'm waiting for somebody to play it
Oh, I
with.
figured you already played through it. I was like, he probably got it already and played it. But yeah, I'll.
No, I got it.
I heard. Okay.
Yeah, let me know. Like, I'll wait for you. Like, when you get the game. Like, I love playing Gears co-op.
I heard the
Yeah.
guy from Star Wars, Bail Organa, and the guy from Dexter season 3 plays one of the characters.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Jimmy Smits.
I didn't know that. I was watching the guys on Gaming Forum.
I didn't.
play
He's
it.
in this. I didn't know he was in this,
He
but
plays one of the characters. I didn't even know. I was like, holy shit, he's on it. He's like the older guy in the game. He plays like in the because I don't know, is it 4-player or is it 2-player? I don't remember the co-op.
it's 4-player.
So yeah,
I'm sure it's 4-player.
One of the people play as his character. You don't see him in a trailer yet, but maybe he'll pop up. He's like the old grizzly-looking dude, but
Marcus Phoenix.
not Marcus. No, not Marcus.
No, I know,
Phoenix,
I
but, I didn't even know he was. I didn't know any because I haven't played 3. I only played 1 and 2. I did not play 3.
I started 3 a while ago, but literally that buddy Andrew that I was just telling you about that I played the game. I played one waiting to play this with. We just played all through 3 together, and we were talking about playing Judgment. We just haven't had a chance to do it yet.
If I go into this without playing 3 and I haven't played it like since 2, will I need to know any key things?
I don't think so. I mean, to be honest with you, the story in 3 was just okay. Like, I didn't, like, it was mainly just, like, getting checkpoint to checkpoint for me. Like, I usually enjoy stories in games, but it was basically, like, I don't know, there's, like, the Locust, then there's the Lambent. The Locusts are the guys that attacked on E-Day.
Wasn't Lambit the blind ones, or am I confusing that with something?
Lambit is like the ones that become like the locusts become, but human become them too. Like it's like a disease that they get, and they become like yellow and weird, crazy looking and shit. And that's what 3 focused on.
They weren't
and
2 then, so I don't think that's why.
I don't think so. But then you find out that like the government in on Sarah knew about in 3. They knew about E-Day, or they knew about the Locust before E-Day, before Emergence Day. And, like, Marcus Phoenix's father was working on a way to, like they were just, apparently the Locusts were, something was going to happen, and they were all going to die if they didn't come out of the ground, and Marcus Phoenix's dad was trying to work on something to fix it, and he couldn't get it done in time, so then that's when E-Day happened, and they emerged out of the ground and attacked everything, and that's when the whole war started. That's kind of like what 3 explains.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen the beginning of this, but it basically, I don't know if this is a spoiler technically. I mean, because technically it's not, but
technically
because it's shit you've seen already, but it's from a different. What it works is that, because I've seen people play it on Game Informer and a little bit elsewhere, it takes you through different perspectives of key moments of the Gears of War game. So like, do you remember in the Gears of War 1, there's like that street where the bald dude, the Kim dude, I think he's like one of your leaders, like you gotta go up the steps and shit. It's like there's like cars crashing everywhere, there's like a fucking hole in the ground, locusts coming out and shit. Well, you actually go back there from a different point of time earlier when that shit was going down, and you see it from a Cogs perspective, like a Carmine looking dude. You play as one, and you go through, you play like a segment, and then it wraps up, and it's like teaching you, it's like guiding you through the game, like teaching you like this is what happened in 1, and you play through it. So you're fighting locusts and shit, you're playing as Cogs, you're fighting with the old weaponry. It's pretty sweet, and you're seeing like how like destruction happened in one of the older levels in the original game, how it became the way it did, and then it goes to like Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, and it shows different perspectives of like when something's like a bomb goes off somewhere, you see it from somebody else's perspective at that point in the story from a different character, and you're playing it. So it's fresh, but it's like teaching you, like, if you haven't played those games, I wonder if it filled me on that kind of stuff. And then it goes to present day, which is really
okay.
So that's
like the tutorial is kind of like a recap.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Yes, it's fucking. I was like, wow, because I'll be honest, I thought Gears of 1 and 2 story was kind of. I played it more for the multiplayer. I wasn't big on its story. I thought it was okay. But that actually got me kind of hyped because like the voice acting, the characters had like a lot of comedy going on with them. It was funny. I was like, wow, this actually looks really good. Really good looking game. I heard it looks great on PC on a nice 4K TV with HDR. I heard it's compatible because this is the second game I think that's officially compatible, because Forza Horizon was the first HDR game on consoles compatible with TVs, HDR TVs, and now this is the next one. And this one I heard actually looks even better and optimizes it better with HDR than Forza did. So I'm like, everyone says it looks really good, but it plays like Gears. It's nothing different. It's like, if you liked Gears, it's Gears. And they said the multiplayer is kind of having what Gears of War 2 was having, which is kind of what drove me off from that game, was the latency. I don't know if everyone's getting that, but some people were bringing that up.
Gears 1 had that too, though.
What's that?
Gears 1 had the latency too.
It did, but I remember 2 was the one that, like, it was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. But 1 was like, okay, it's the first time. I didn't really know better, but like 2 was like, 1 was fun.
One was fun, but it was like when you were trying to get into ranked matches with somebody you knew.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
That was fucking. Like, you have to like leave, start up a new ranked, and hope that you ended up in it on the same.
Finding it, and then because you had to find it, and you didn't always show up in the list, and then like you couldn't join that person's side until somebody else joined. Then you had to switch sides with them. It was fucking. And then they had the.
Was there a reason why we did ranked and not just player match? Was there something?
Because there was an achievement where you got so many kills in ranked.
Yeah, that's right.
And I never got that achievement. It was seriously was the achievement. I never got it because like. I didn't want to play ranked by myself, and they never fixed it. They didn't come up with a patch. They didn't do anything. They're like, oh, here's Gears of War 2 where we fixed it. Yeah. I'm like, okay, but I want to get this fucking achievement in Gears of War 1, and you haven't fucking fixed that yet.
Oh my god. Well, all I'm gonna say about Gears One is Gridlock and Mansion were awesome.
Gridlock apparently is the only game that has shown up in every single iteration of Gears of War.
Well, I know Gears of War 2 brought back Gridlock as DLC, wasn't it? And
3 did too.
But it also in 2 they brought Mansion back. I remember we were playing on Mansion.
Yeah.
Mansion was fucking awesome. Remember going out in the rain and shit, and people motherfuckers.
I know you love Mansion.
And we would go in the house and we're like fucking roadie running, trying to find a cocksucker, and we're like, he's upstairs. And they're like, me and Chris used to last every time when you were on our team, and you would die.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like, oh bullshit. And you would get cut off because you couldn't hear people when you fucking died.
Yeah, when you died, yeah.
Like, oh, bullshit.
I'd be like, oh, fuck that.
You're like, oh, get the and we're like, well, Mike died. Like, oh, what the fuck? It was so good, man. I love that shit.
Well, that's what I love too. Like back, that reminds me when I played SOCOM back in the day, where you would just be like, "Okay, I just saw a guy. He's on the left side of the map. He's right," and then it just cut off. That just reminds me of the same kind of shit, like where you just get cut off because you get killed.
Yeah.
Like I love that shit. Like that party chat and stuff like that kind of ruins that in new games.
Talking,
but
like while it's going, but oh boy, that was like
when you got cut, like, oh, he died. I'll be like, oh fuck.
We used to crack up, and that was the best. But man, Gridlock. Remember the friggin' chainsaw thing? It wasn't the chainsaw glitch. It was the crab walk. The fucking crab walk with the shotgun, where they would fucking like side crab walk, and they would just like they didn't even have to roll because they were just moving so fast. It would just like shotgun you, boom, you're fucking instantly dead. It was like it was bad.
See, like glitches in games like ruin shit for me.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about Call of Duty 4 remaster coming out soon. Like I'm so excited about that because when I try to go back and play, it was a few years ago now, but I went back and tried to play Call of Duty 4 again on Xbox 360. There was like people glitching out, doing all kinds of shit you couldn't do. It takes all the fun out of the game. Like I just don't enjoy it. I'm like, okay, I'll just go do something else since you want to be a dickhead about this. Yeah. So now I'm super excited to go back and play all those maps and those game modes on the Xbox One with better graphics, but also just no fucking people glitching.
Yeah, well, now that it's crossed with PC, I don't know how that's gonna work, but we'll have to see. But we could definitely.
I'm sure they're gonna have a way that you can choose, like, just to play with people on your system. Yeah. You want to play PC only or Xbox only?
DICE has a really good thing. It's not like perfect proof, but they do have a thing where they auto boot people out that are like hacking on Battlefront. Because I have seen it before. It just boots them out and bans them. So if they got something like that, that could work. If it detects like cheaters and shit, that could be a workaround. But yeah, man, PC and console cross-platform gets me hard. I love that shit, dude.
Honestly, I wouldn't want to like fight against people on PC because, to be honest with you, like using a controller to aim, using a controller to aim isn't as bitchy as point and click. That's what I call like anybody that plays on PC. They just point and click. But yeah, we can co-op. Like we can play Gears of War co-op. We can play whatever games are coming out. I don't even know what the fuck other co-op games are coming out, but you and I, even though you play PC, I can play Xbox.
Yeah, dude, they've got to do more shit like this. More fucking cross-platform. Even if it's not multiplayer, just co-op shit, dude. Like, I would love to play anything co-op that's good that's on our minds. Like, I would be so down because like the thing you have to buy it again is a deal breaker for me. Like,
they have to buy the game again. That's what I hate about that's one thing I love about proprietary games, console exclusive games, I should say, was if I'm gonna buy Uncharted, guess what? I'm buying it on the PlayStation. If I'm gonna buy Gears of War, I'm buying it on the Xbox. That's the only place I can buy those. Yep. So I don't have to choose between if I buy Call of Duty, I'm like, oh wait, which one of my friends are buying Call of Duty on the PS4? Exactly. Which ones are buying the Xbox One?
But I'm gonna try and see if we can set up something. Maybe if people are interested, we could do like a live stream of us co-op in the game.
Co-op in Gears, absolutely. I would do that. Like we'll record it and put it online. I would do that too. But one thing I think that's really cool that they've done on Xbox One lately is I've seen people playing games on their PC. Like from my Xbox. Like I turn on my Xbox and I see you playing Resident Evil 5. I'm like,
it's really
the fuck
weird.
Is Jerry playing Resident Evil 5 on his Xbox? And I look and he's playing on his PC. I'm like, that's fucking cool that I can see that's what he's doing. That's something I've wanted for such a long time where I would love it if I know they're not going to do this, but if like on my PS4 or my Xbox, I can see what you're playing on your Xbox or on the PC.
Yeah.
It's just like one ecosystem where I can at least have my friends and see what they're playing and send them an invite or send them a message. Like I think that would be so amazing to be able to do that without having to be on the same console.
Yeah.
Like I've seen people on my Xbox. I open up my guide button and I look at my friends list, and people are playing. I have 3 people on my friends list playing World of Warcraft, and I'm like, okay, they're not playing that on their Xbox. Yeah, but it's just cool because like with Windows 10 and Xbox
PC,
One,
that sync up now. That's
exactly. I'm like, that's fucking cool. Like I think that's really interesting. Otherwise, they would just show up as offline. I have no idea that they're playing a game. But the fact that I can see that they're playing World of Warcraft, I saw you playing Resident Evil. Like I can see all this shit. I love that, and I want that to expand further to other systems.
I'm telling you, man.
Like I've wanted like
the more that cross-platform shit, dude. The more they're interconnected, the better. It's their fucking policies and their legal teams.
Yeah, well, there's a game that's cross-platform between Xbox and PlayStation.
11
Rocket League.
11 was for like fucking years.
Oh yeah. 11 was the first one to do it, where you can I can log out on my Xbox 360, log into my PS2, and I would be playing. I'd be exactly where I left off, and I can log out of there and log into my computer version. And I had all the versions of that. I had the PS2, I had the PC, and I had the Xbox 360 when that came out. I had every single version of that game that they came out with, and I would log out on one, wherever it was convenient for me to play at the time. That's where I played.
Yeah, but a lot of good stuff. I am looking forward if we can set something up with this game. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, dude, we need to co-op this game for sure.
But let's head on over to our last news topic, or one of our last, we'll say, because you might actually have something too you might want to throw in. But this one actually came in today. I did not have this planned, and you know what I'm talking about.
This morning at 6 a.m.?
I saw it as soon as I woke up and went on Twitter. Red Dead hinted.
Hinted.
It could be bully.
Hinted.
It could be like an upside down B. We don't know. It could be like a bully sequel that they're teasing. Somebody fucked up over at Rockstar.
Okay, listen. If they came out with a bully sequel, I would be just as excited, if not more excited, because less expected.
Dude, I fucking loved Red Dead Redemption. That was in 2010. That was it still is one of my favorite games of all. It's the best Western I've ever played.
Do you remember what game came out the same day as that? I remember because I was debating on which game I should buy.
I don't know.
Xbox 360 exclusive.
Is it Gears of War?
Single player game.
Single player role player?
No, single player only.
Single player only. It's not Mass Effect or something, is it?
No, it is not. Mass Effect was earlier than that.
God, 2010, because I was playing 14 at the time, because that came out later in the year, I think. Yeah, that didn't come out yet. This was before 14, so it was the same year before 14. When did Red Dead come out anyway? That was.
I think it was October of 2010.
I remember because I went to Texas in summer, and that was the last game I played before I left.
Okay, so it was not October 2010, but it was like, I remember it was the same day.
I remember in June I was playing Red Dead, and I was getting achievements in Blackwater before I left for the plane and shit. So I remember specifically it was before June. But you're saying this game did come out after?
The same day. No, the same. I'm saying the game came out. What game came out the same day? It was a horror game.
I don't know. It wasn't Resident.
It was on PC. It was on PC also. It was an Xbox PC game. It was not Resident Evil.
Shit, dude. I bite. I don't fucking know. All right. I can't think of it.
Alan Wake.
Alan Wake.
I really enjoyed Alan Wake. Dude, all right, I really liked that game.
That was a pretty.
But I did end up.
I didn't play it, but I did watch a good deal of it. Looked pretty cool.
I played it. I beat it. It was a lot of fun. But it came out the same day as Red Dead 2, and I was just like, I remember debating on it. And the only reason I got Red Dead Redemption that day was because you and Chris were getting it, and we were going to be able to go online, which we didn't really do much of. But we were supposed to be able to like write out in the.
That was like the fucking pre GTA 5 online. That was like the old days when Rockstar was like, we're gonna have an old fashioned open world and shit. You know, we're shit in the future.
But like, now Red Dead 2, is it going to take place before Red Dead 1? I mean,
I will guarantee you this. If it is a Western, which it wouldn't be a Red Dead if it wasn't, it absolutely has to take place either immediately following John Marston's son, somewhat spoilers, but I don't think it will. I think it'll be earlier because remember, in Red Dead Redemption, that was the end of the Old West. The Wild West was dying in that point in that story.
Yeah.
So it's like, what more else is it? Like they were wrapping it all up. That was a go further back, do something else, focus on. I don't know what the fuck they would do, but unless it follows his son immediately after, and then it's like, okay, that's it. They don't have much room because that's when the West was dying and the United States, America was turning into like, more industrialized and shit. Because like even in the game, you can see like they have like trains and stuff. That was like when horses were going out, like even cars were in the game, and they were signifying like you're still riding a horse. Get in this car, you fuddy duddy. That game was great, dude. The story. I actually went back and played that. I think it was last year. I recently replayed it.
I never beat it. I never beat this game.
Dude, go back and play it.
I need to.
Recently,
and I downloaded it.
It's on backwards compatible Xbox
Yes.
One.
And when that happened, it went on sale for like $7 for the digital version. I think I still have the physical copy, but I bought the digital version for $7 just so I can have it. And I think I'm gonna go back and play that again soon. Like that's a game like I want to.
Like
I love story-driven games, obviously. So like that's one that I really want to play.
I love GTA 5. That's probably my favorite GTA. But I think Red Dead Redemption is their best story they've ever told. It's so like. I don't want to spoil.
Trust me, spoilers already happened for me.
Okay, it's still fucking good, dude. Like even me playing it a second time, it still hits you, man. It's so like I love riding on horseback in the country. I like fucking like breaking a horse and taming it. I love fucking lassoing a motherfucker and like fucking he's like wah! He's like on the back of the horse like getting dragged and shit. And you can either kill him for bounty hunts, wanted dead or alive, bring him in dead. Bring him in alive. Put him on the back of the horse. Fucking side quests and shit. You can kill fucking animals to like get skins and increase like kind of like Far Cry style. You can increase your pack, your loot pack. You can sell them for money. You get achievements. There was like buffalo in the game. Like if you killed all the buffalo, they'd go extinct and you get a fucking achievement. It's really, you can do like cattle drives and shit, like City Slicker style. You can like rope in cattle for like like it's a lot of variety for like an old Western game. Like they had like the cool hub towns, and then the best part, they had a fucking zombie expansion that was like I didn't finish that. I did buy that last year. That was the last thing and the most recent thing I ever bought on my Xbox, and I bought it and I did play a little bit of it and it was pretty good. For Halloween, dude, it's like perfect time to get it back in.
You have your 360 still, right?
Yeah.
We should get on and play some co-op and record us playing some co-op.
Red Dead?
Like that.
Yeah,
because I can record it on the Xbox One.
Do they even have the servers working still for that?
I don't know. We can find out.
But
I know they just put it on backwards compatible. I'm assuming they do.
I'm telling you, dude, do a fucking playthrough of that game on Twitch or something. Like I would watch.
All right, I'll just play the single player.
I would watch to see like your reactions or whatever. I would. I like if I'm like grinding in Final Fantasy, I'd fucking watch it if it's like a good enough quality like this.
Remember that was the first time I think I ever used Twitch. Was we were playing. I was playing Final Fantasy and I was having you watch me play so you can help me out and tell me what to do. Do you remember doing that? Like Twitch? A few years ago.
It was one of those.
Yeah.
I don't know if Twitch was around at the time, but it was like.
It may not have been Twitch. It was a few years ago, but it was awesome. Like you telling me what to do. But yeah, that's while you were playing your own Final Fantasy game. But yeah, I need to go back and play Red Dead for sure. If they announce
definitely play it.
They announced Red Dead Redemption 2. If they officially announce it, I will have to play it before it comes out.
It's such a fucking good game, man. Like it holds up. I played it again recently. Fucking motherfucker holds up.
Okay, so I'm gonna go play it. I'm gonna go play it on my. I wish they would release it like a better improved graphics and loading times and stuff like that. Like I would love.
You're fucking preaching to the choir, man. For a guy who plays on PC, like having to make that game look as sexy as possible, but even going back to a shitty Xbox 360, it still looks really good. Like I felt I fit right in. Like it just. It's the only way you can play it. It's good, man. That and I think it's also on PS3 as well. But that's Red Dead.
Yes, it is.
I can't wait to hear what they announce. Even if it's like a fucking remake, remaster, I'd still be hyped for that. But we'll see.
Oh yeah. All right. So real quick, now that we're done talking about watching this video of the Old West and everything, one thing I did want to bring up.
Yeah. Was
the TV show Westworld.
Oh, right.
All right. Now. I bring this up. I know where this is a gaming podcast that we're doing here, but the reason I want to bring this up is that Westworld is the best depiction of a video game that I've ever seen on TV,
Now,
on movie or television.
now, for someone who doesn't know anything, like I've seen some like screens of it of people posting on Twitter. That's it. I haven't read anything.
Okay.
I don't know. All
right.
Explain to me as if I've. This is your.
All right. So basically, the concept of Westworld, of the locale or the park. Think of it. Okay, so Michael Crichton wrote Westworld. He made a movie in the 70s, but he's also the guy that wrote Jurassic Park. So think of it as a theme park that you go to. Think of it as a theme park that you go to that's Western. That's just like you're in the Old West, and that's what the theme park is. And there's other people there.
Is this it?
Let's call those player characters, PCs. And then there's androids. Let's call those NPCs, non-player characters. So those are people that aren't actual people, but they look like people, they talk like people, and they act like people, they fuck like people, and they die like people. Those are the NPCs.
Is this it?
Now, when you go in, this is it.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So when you go in, that's a map that they're looking at of the world. When you go in, there's people that are sitting there. Like there's one guy that's like, "Hey, you look like you got some metal. Maybe you can do this and help us find us this lawbreaker out in the wild."
Yeah.
That's an NPC, and guess what he's doing? He's offering you a quest, and if you take that quest, you go out and you look for this lawbreaker.
Dude,
so like,
awesome.
There's all these different things, and there's different storylines going on, and by people showing up, they either fuck with the storylines and like kill people and change it, or they go along with the storylines. I mean,
so hype,
this is something.
That's so cool. Like, let's just.
It's fucking like that's the way you got to look at it. It's like there's people that go there and they're like rich people and they pay to go and they can kill all the NPCs if they want, and the next day they're all back.
So like
they
VR?
can rape the NPCs.
Or like the Matrix or some shit, or VR or something.
No, it's like it's just they're robots and their memories are wiped every night when they go back, and they like this. Like in the first episode, they show this girl wake up multiple times in the same position. She wakes up and she starts her day and she says the same thing to her dad, like, "Hey, Daddy, morning."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Are you gonna go paint something?" He's like, "Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go do." And there's people coming in on the train, and the people that are coming in on the train are the new people. Let's think of those as the players. When they come in, they go into the world and they can do whatever they want. Think of it like an MMO where you can do whatever you want, and you go around, you can kill people, you can just and there's hints of a whole sub game, like let's call it a what is it when you get to an end game. Right. Like when you get to the end of like there's something beyond just what normal people do when they get in and play it, and like they have no memories of like those are like one of those is at least is a bot, like let's call them bots, or
bots.
They're called I don't remember what they're called in the show. They're called something.
Let's call them NPCs.
But they're hosts. They're called hosts.
Right, hosts.
Yeah, but they're NPCs. Like she's an NPC. She's the one that wakes up and she can change your day. She can do different things, and it's just really interesting. And I want to see where they go with it. But it's the most video game like film television that you will ever see as of so far.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Is this on Netflix?
It's on Hulu, HBO.
HBO, okay.
It's on HBO. There's only 2 episodes so far. And honestly, I was watching it and I didn't really catch that, but listening to the way people describe what they talk about, I'm like, that it totally makes sense that this is a video game. This is where this is the final state of video games in the future, where you can go in and live a video game, live Red Dead Redemption, and do whatever you want. You can shoot somebody in the face and nothing happens. Nothing happens to you.
It's only in the West, or did they go to like other locations in the future?
That's actually a very good question. In the original movie, apparently, Westworld was one of the parks. And there are other parks that you can go to
like
that are completely different.
That has like Jurassic Park. It has like a
exactly. But they haven't touched. It's only, like I said, it's only been 2 episodes so far, and I think this is going to be the show that they're trying to. I don't want to say replace Game of Thrones with, but once Game of Thrones goes off the air, this is what they want to. Take its place as people have to watch HBO. They have to have it. This is an amazing story that people are buying into it. Like Game of Thrones, the first couple episodes, while they were really good, they didn't like I wasn't like, oh my god, I have to watch this for the rest of my life because this show is so fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the way this show is so far. It's doing a lot of world building that that Game of Thrones did at the beginning, where you were getting to know the characters and getting to know everything, and then shit's gonna hit the fan soon. You kind of see the writing on the wall with some things about what's gonna happen, but I'm really interested to see where they go with it, and I think you would enjoy it too.
How are the characters on the show? Are they really like relatable, or are they kind of like cookie cutter? How are they?
So it depends on which character you're talking about. There's like the guy that created it, which they just showed him a minute ago. He's like the one that came up with the robots, or the hosts as you call them.
Right.
They just introduced a new character which they just showed walking down a hallway a second ago in the second episode. He's one of the people that's going into Westworld for the first time, experiencing things. But then there's the hosts, which what's interesting about them is they are the ones that get killed.
Right.
Because they can't kill anybody. If they shoot at somebody, at a human being, they can't, like, the bullets don't hurt them. If they can't fight back. They can fight back, but they can't really win.
The guy drinking the milk and it was like pouring out of his stomach or whatever.
Yeah, that guy's a host. So you can shoot that guy and kill him, and he cries, he suffers, but you don't have any kind of any repercussions for that because it's a video game. Like in a video game, if you kill somebody, nothing happens to you. They just come back, they respawn or whatever. You don't get in trouble.
I could see it.
But
can you imagine like a Telltale doing this, like they did with Game of Thrones?
that would actually be really interesting. But what's interesting about this is these hosts, these robots, these animatronic beings, they don't remember anything from their previous interactions. And now imagine somebody killing you, torturing you, raping you, doing all this crazy shit, but then you forget it. But some of them are starting to remember things that happened to them previously. So like they're starting to remember things from their previous cycles before they were wiped out.
Yeah.
Like and it's kind of slowly building towards that, where the animatronic beings, the hosts, are going to turn on people and they're actually going to be able to hurt them. And I think that's where the show's going, and it actually reminds me of when I was talking earlier about playing Batman VR, Arkham VR, where I was like looking at the Robin character, and I was like right in front of him, and I was like, oh, I can punch you, I can do whatever. But I feel like he could, like, at any moment, he could turn on me and like kill me because he's like right in front of me.
Dude,
and I feel like that's what this is.
I think I'm gonna check this out if I can catch.
Yeah, episode 3 was actually airing tonight. I wanted to watch that. I don't know if I'm having enough time, but I want to watch.
Like, do they have like replays I can boot up?
I think the first episode you can watch to see, but like I said, it's a lot of world building. It's a lot of introducing of stuff, but the first one you can watch online. Other than that, you need like a HBO Go, HBO Now subscription, or have. I don't know if your parents have HBO. I'll talk to you about that later, but I'll show you. I'll tell you how to log in and watch that shit. You watch Game of Thrones though, right?
Yeah.
So however you watch Game of Thrones, you can watch this.
Right. Sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna check this out. I like gamey things. If this is a good gamey thing, this is a good thing.
But like I said, they never say it's a video game. They never mention video games. They don't do anything like that. But the way the people interact with the world, they're the player characters, and they're interacting with non-player characters, and it's very much a video game without saying it. So I mean, I think that's really interesting, and I definitely want to see where they go with it.
Sweet. So that is Westworld. All right, we are going to go on to one of our last segments before we wrap up the show in a little bit. So we went through all the news. We talked about that stuff. We segued really well from Red Dead, which we didn't even think was going to be on the show until today, into Westworld, which was nice. So if anybody is interested in that, can check that out. But now what we're going to go to is a little segment I like to call What We're Looking Forward To. So for this segment, me and Mike basically pick one thing, okay, per week. It could be the same thing. It could be reinvigorated hype of the same thing. It could be something completely new you could do every time, which would be a lot more exciting. Basically, it could be a game. It could be a game, a movie based off a game. It could be a game developer. It could be a gaming website, a gaming podcast. It could be whatever, anything gaming related. And it's just something we're really looking forward to that's coming real soon in the coming weeks, months, within the year, by the end of the year. And we just talk about that, explain why, and yeah, go on whatever we want about it. So if you want to start, anything you're really looking forward to, man, that you haven't gotten.
Okay, so I guess the little caveat that I'm looking at is by the end of the year, because there was a game that I was looking forward to that was coming out by the end of the year, but it got pushed back to first quarter next year. The game I would say I'm probably looking forward to most is South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Yes, I actually pre-ordered that. I got the.
Did you? Me too.
So now I'm gonna play the original first.
Did you play that yet?
No, but if you pre-order the new one, it comes with the original for free.
You get what'd you get it for? PC?
So
okay, see, I got it on PS4. You should be able to play it now because I was able to download the PS4 version immediately.
Really?
The reason I'm looking, because I platinumed it on the PS4,
wow.
And the reason I'm looking forward to this game so much is how good the Stick of Truth was. Yeah. The Stick of Truth was maybe like a 10 to 12 hour RPG, but it was fucking hilarious. It was written by Matt Stone.
Yeah. They're really.
It was written by Matt Stone and Trey Parker. I mean, I love South Park, and this game is like you're playing not just an episode, but like a full season of South Park.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and there's like you get to go travel to all the different areas of the town. You get to interact with all the different characters, and they did the whole the medieval thing with the first game, the Stick of Truth. Cartman was a wizard. There was like
now in this one.
Now they're doing superheroes, and that was
in the fucking trailer where they're like they're doing the whole like boardroom fucking meeting thing, and they're like talking about like we're gonna have this movie and this movie, but we can't do this movie yet because we got to do this one.
Oh yeah,
that was great.
Well, the first trailer they came out with was actually them dressed in their Stick of Truth outfits, and then Butters came out and he was like, "You, Coon and friends, blah blah blah," and Cartman was like, "Oh wait, we're playing the wrong game," and they went and changed from their like Lord of the Rings outfits to their superhero outfits, and I was like, "Oh my god, did they just announce a new South Park game?" Because when they came out with the first one, Matt Stone and Trey Parker were like, yeah, we're done with making video games because we really enjoy it. Like, we're really proud of this game, but it was a lot harder than they thought it. They said it was a lot harder than they thought it was going to be, and I didn't think they were going to do another one because they literally said we're not going to make another one. And when they said they're making a sequel, I'm like, oh my god. I cannot fucking wait for this game. It was coming out in December, and they pushed it back to first quarter next year.
Now, why do you think they did that? I have my own reasoning why I think they did it, but why do you think?
I mean, it could just be polishing. I don't know if it's going up against anything in particular in December, but December games generally don't sell exceptionally well, and they've been doing a lot better on what was that? They've been doing a lot better on
15.
15. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Last Guardian.
Oh, Final Fantasy 15.
Final Fantasy 15, November. Last Guardian.
I wasn't sure if you were trying to give me like a signal. No, I was like,
10,
what, am I supposed to be like? I'm like, be quiet. I don't know what's going on.
I was trying to give you a hint, but my reasoning was because I remember some people were bitching about on YouTube that Final Fantasy 15 got pushed back from September to November, and people are like, "Oh fuck." Because I think the game was supposed to come out in November, the Fractured Butthole, and they were like, you have to go up against the Fractured Butthole in the same week. This is going to screw sales for one game or the other. And I think...
It was December.
It was December? Okay.
It was December like 12th or something when they announced the game. They said they gave it a date, and I was so surprised when they announced it at E3 this year that it was coming out at the end of this year, and I was like, oh my god, that's so fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But then it got pushed back, and I was so upset.
My theory is, like, I still think it's, like, because there's too much big shit coming out. Like, Final Fantasy 15, Last Guardian is enough to eat people's pockets.
Is the Last Guardian going to be, like, eating in people's pockets, you think? Do you think that's going to be, like, a popular game? Yeah, there's a lot of people. I think there's more people curious about it than hyped.
There are, like, the game journalists are fucking hyped as fuck. Regular people like you and me, we don't follow it like the journalists do.
I've been following it, and I've been listening to different podcasts and reading articles, and I feel like the journalists have gotten to the point where they're tired of covering it for so long, and they're not as excited as... I don't know who's excited for... I mean, I'm interested to see what they do with it and how it is, but there's 3 games coming out this year that were announced 10 years ago. The Last Guardian, Final Fantasy 15, which was original Final Fantasy 13 Versus or whatever, and then there's another game coming out like Neo or something like that. And I NIOHO or NIOH or something. Neo. It's another game. They were all announced in like 2005, 2006 era, and they're just coming out now. So I'm really actually interested to see how those shake up and see which ones are. Like, I've never even heard of Neo until this year, and then somebody's like, "Oh yeah, that was like that came." They announced that like 10 years ago. I'm like, Jesus.
That was the one that's like
another one.
Dark Souls, isn't it? Like the one that's inspired.
It's similar to like a Dark Souls kind of game, yes. Yeah. But that was like before Dark Souls came out when they announced it.
Yeah, well, they could have changed it in that 10 years too. To like,
yeah, exactly. I'm sure they changed Final Fantasy 15. I mean, they renamed the fucking game. It was Final Fantasy Versus 13, and now it's Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, well, I think they just wanted to get away from the whole 13.
Yeah. But
I don't know. I don't know how well those games sold. That's an interesting thing. Like, I'd like to know how well 13, 13-2, and Lightning Return sold. Like, I bought all those, but to be honest, I never beat 13-2, and I didn't even start 13 because I wanted to beat 13-2 first. But I don't know. It's just kind of crazy.
To get back to your South Park thing, that's my reasoning. It's probably wrong, but I figured
it might be right.
All those big releases, like, I wouldn't want to launch my fucking game like around the time of those, like holiday sales. I don't know, like maybe when it's a slower time, people would buy it more, or maybe after holiday, people are spent, so they won't. I don't know. I'm gonna get the game, so I really do love South Park.
I need you to play the first game and tell me what you think, because I need to know what you think about it, because I really love the first game.
Free purchase, Stick of Truth.
Yeah, and I got that. And they announced that at E3 in May or June this year at E3, and I love E3. I'll next year I'm going to do reacts for it. I'm going to do YouTube videos about what I think about what happened at E3. But this year, the last 2 years, I requested it off, took the whole day, had a few beers with my buddy, and we watched E3 all day, all the conferences, every single conference that day we watched.
Nice.
And I enjoy doing it. I watch them online, just stream everything. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
And when they announced this game, like during the Ubisoft press conference, or Ubisoft, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, I don't know the actual name. They said Ubisoft during the fucking conference.
Yeah.
But I was online on the PlayStation Store, ready to pre-order it, and I was like, not available. They kept searching it, and then within like an hour or two, like an hour of the press conference ending, it was available, and I pre-ordered it immediately, and I could download the original South Park: The Stick of Truth. And what I thought was great about the pre-order was I got a new version of the game, because I bought it on PS3 originally, and now I have a whole new set of trophies to play through and get, which I thought was amazing. I thought that was great that they did that, and the game ran smooth. Like, there was like some jitteriness on the original PS3 version, like it didn't run great. There were some glitches, but I played on the PS4. Just fucking amazing. And one thing that I thought was great about the PS4 and Xbox One, like, that I'm not a huge fan about backwards compatibility, the one thing I would wish they would fix was when you put the PS4 in rest mode, or the Xbox, you turn it off. When you turn it back on, the game picks up right where you left off. And that was a great thing about this game, is I could pick up right when I left off. But it does this. You said you haven't played the game yet, right?
No, I've seen bits of it. Like,
so every time you load the game, you know how when you come back from a scene from the show, it plays like a little. It has like a little sound that it makes. I can't remember what it is. Like dun dun dun. Yeah. Like it's like coming back to the show. Every time you load the game back up and you reload it, it plays that sound like you're coming back from a commercial. It's it's fucking exactly yeah. That's fucking awesome.
Oh man, I'm watching the new season. You watching it?
Oh yeah, I have to watch this last episode from Wednesday, but I mean, the problem is I haven't had a chance to catch up on. I watch a lot of TV shows on Hulu, which South Park is on, and the CW app.
How they have the free SouthParkStudios.com. You just like stream it for free on.
Oh well, I have the commercial-free subscription to Hulu, and you can watch all the episodes of South Park on there, and new episodes of all the other shows I watch. But since the PSVR came out, I just haven't had time to keep up with all my shows, man. It's just like I get home and I'm like, let me put this fucking headset on and escape reality for a moment.
Escape reality.
All right, so what are you looking forward to, Jerry?
Okay, so let me think. We've been hitting on it a couple times. I haven't really thought too much about it for this segment.
On.
But what I'm pretty much looking forward to, in a nutshell, is Final Fantasy 15.
Okay, I was gonna say either Final Fantasy 15 or World of Final Fantasy.
Well, we talked about that, so I was like, well, my hype is not too big on that right now. I was gonna say 14, but that's like a little bit of ways off, and I have plenty of time to talk about that in other videos if I
Oh
can
yeah.
and want. But Final Fantasy 15, man, like that game. I wasn't following it in the beginning because, believe it or not, that game is older than me as a Final Fantasy fan. That game was
Oh, I
announced.
remember when you started playing Final Fantasy.
I
I remember when
started
you
in
started going through all of them.
2009. That's when we
I can't
started
believe
playing
that. I
11.
can't believe it's been 7 years already. But yeah, I
Nine.
remember that.
I started in 9 with 11. Then I saw 14 that same fucking year at E3, and I was like, an online to a game I'm playing right now for the first time? Fuck yeah. And I'm like, okay. So hype was like through the roof, jumped to that, and then I took off from there with all the other games. So 15 was actually announced, or Versus 13 was announced even before uh, that. So for me, that is kind of crazy. Just thinking about that in a nutshell. I'm really sold on the story. I'm really liking the characters so far. I love the world. I love the gameplay that it's got going for it. Like I got a good feeling about this one. I think they like as much as I love 14, I still love 14's aesthetic and world more, but I like what 15's doing. It's world building with lore. It's got like backstory. It's got a movie. It's got a cool anime you can watch to get really into and fucking hyped and shit, man. Like you get into that world, you can see the cities, and you're like, holy shit, I remember that from the anime or the movie. You're like, oh, like shit from the anime will take place. Like their backstories will come up when they're talking to each other in the car in the game. So like you'll be like, I remember when that episode happened, or I remember when they were doing this, or like, oh, why this character likes that or something. And I'm like, it's just like you can see it right here. This is this is the beginning of the game, like the demos they've been showing at all the trade shows and shit. So like the game's looking a lot better. Like the big problem
Yeah.
on NeoGAF was a lot of people were like, man, this game looks janky. The frame rate's not looking good. It's looking, and I've been following those NeoGAFs like constantly watching them and reading comments and
I just feel like the couple dudes on a road trip in a car just doesn't seem like Final Fantasy to
it
me. I guess that's
doesn't,
my problem
but
right now.
like it's that when you watch the movie and you understand the grand. Okay, so basically there's kingdoms, right? And each kingdom had a crystal. This kingdom that the main character is a part of, he's like the prince to. His kingdom is the only kingdom that has the last crystal in the world. The empire that's going around basically fucking screwing with people and trying to take it over, they want that last crystal. So the movie explains how they infiltrate the city. It was originally going to take place in the game, but they cut it and made a movie out of it. So you watch the movie to get the backstory of them taking over the city, and then right after, there's a hidden scene at the end of the movie, and then the game takes place right as that fucking scene at the end of the credits finishes.
Now, I know they got a great voice cast for the movie. Now, do any of those characters
No.
are any of those the main characters
No,
from this?
no. Sean Bean is not in it. Lena Headey, is it Headey? Lena Headey, right? How do you say it? From Game of Thrones?
I don't know. H-E-A-D. Yeah, I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Cersei.
She plays Princess Luna, and she does not play the same voice actress in the game. But and she looks a little bit different too, which is weird. I actually like the movie version better. But
And then there's also the guy from Breaking Bad that's in the.
Aaron Paul. Yes, he's the main character in the movie. Yes.
And he's not in the game either.
No. But
So like none of the people
maybe.
that are like that you'd recognize from other shit. Okay.
No.
Are in the.
No, but yeah, I'm hyped because I played Dusky. I love Dusky. I hated the frame rate because like when you got into hardcore combat, the game would buckle, man. It would buckle.
Now, are you playing this on PC or PS4?
Oh,
I don't know if it's a PC. I don't know if it's available on PC.
my heart, man.
Like I don't know.
I wish it came to PC. It's not coming to PC anytime soon. They said recently if they were to do a PC version of this game, it would take like a fucking year. It's gonna do the Grand Theft Auto 5 treatment. It's gonna come out on consoles first, probably re-release, and then it's gonna come out on PC around that time, before or after like a console re-release. So, like Grand Theft Auto 5 started on PS3, Xbox 360, came to, I don't know if it came to PC first or PS4 and Xbox One first, but it was around that time one or the other took place before or after. I think 15 is gonna follow the same suit. So I'm getting on PS4. I got the fucking that ridiculously expensive uh, Ultimate Edition on pre-order. So I'm pretty hyped
I
about
pre-ordered
that.
the regular collector's edition,
It does
and then
come
I canceled it
it
because I'm just gonna get the digital version on the Xbox, the PS4.
if you get the collector's edition, it comes with the anime and it comes with the movie on Blu-ray, so you can watch it before playing the game. Uh,
Yeah, I know. But it's available digitally too, and honestly, like, I'm kind of done with physical copies of games
no, I
too.
understand. You
Even
can
if I,
actually download a digital download the movie and the anime. The anime you can watch right now for free on
but
YouTube.
no, I'm talking about the game.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want to. Like, I loved with Halo 5. I got the collector's edition for that, and it came with a digital download code for the game, which I thought was great because
yeah,
I'm just tired of like this having. I mean, you can't see all of them, but
yeah. Too many
over here,
discs.
I have like so many games over
Dude, I
here.
have no
I have a whole
room. I
wall.
have no room to put my discs anymore. Like the only
And I'm also lazy. Like, I don't want to have to get up and change my disc out. Like, I just want all my games ready to go at my fingertips when I want to play them.
yeah. So,
First world problems, I know, but whatever.
yeah, man, they made the game like just watching this footage. It looks smoother. It looks nicer. Oh, there's a PS4 Pro version, which I'm gonna stick with the regular. I don't think I'm sold on getting a whole new console for one game. I was really on the fence, and I want to wait for like digital.
I'm getting the PS4 Pro. Well, I have it pre-ordered right now, and I didn't know there was a PS4 Pro version of this, which makes me even inclined to keep my pre-order. But it was mainly the VR, the VR. Like, they're supposed to, the VR is supposed to run better on it, and since I have my PSVR and I'm super happy with it and I'm enjoying it, if I can get it to run better, honestly, I'd rather VR get a new camera to put in the background so we can track even more shit that I'm doing. Like, that would be amazing. But if I can get better running VR games right now with the PS4 Pro, the only problem I have with the Pro right now is I bought the Bay expansion, the Nyko data bank
Yeah.
for the PS4,
Right.
and I have a 5 terabyte hard drive in my PS4 right now,
Jesus
and I don't think
Christ.
I'm going to be able to put that in my the PS4 Pro. So that's the only reason I'm hesitant about getting it. Like, I'm ready to sell my PS4, trade it in, and because I have most of my shit digitally, I can just re-download it,
Yeah.
re-download all my game saves and everything, but the fact that I may not be able to keep my 5 terabyte hard drive is what's the only thing making me think about canceling my pre-order, because I don't want to. They don't make
Well,
the 2.5-inch hard
also,
drives that big.
the thing you might want to hold on to your pre-order for is the 4K support. So basically, it supports HDR and 4K.
But I have a 4K TV, but it's not HDR. I bought it like 2 years ago.
It'll still work. It'll just do the 4K,
Yeah.
and the 4K will make the game look a lot nicer because they're doing this checkerboard upscaling technique. So it's not native 4K; it's like an upscale 4K, but it's
When does the game come out?
November 29th, if I'm not
Okay, because the November 10th, I think, is the November 10th or 13th, somewhere around there, is the PS4 Pro. So I got that. Like I said, I got that pre-ordered. I got it ready.
The Pro comes out this month, isn't it? I'm pretty
November.
sure it is. Okay, so it's gonna be at least a week or two before the game comes out. So you'll have.
Yeah, I think it sounds like 2.5 weeks beforehand.
Yeah. So I was thinking about it, but like I'm kind of short on money right now, so I'm like, for one.
I'll put it on no interest financing. I'm gonna buy it, get my VR headset to work. I'll just be like.
I'm gonna play it on the base PS4, and the upgrade I'm gonna play is when I play it on PC. If it comes, if the game's great and it goes on to sell well enough to what them.
Looks like a fucking sphere grid right there from Final Fantasy X.
That's exactly what this is, and you can do it for all the characters. So each character.
Oh my
has
god!
trait.
I'm already getting more excited about this game by the second. All right.
Noctis is the main character. His skill is fishing. You can fish in the game, Zelda style.
That sounds like a terrible skill in a Final Fantasy game.
You can cook, and it gives you buffs. And here's where the buffs come in. Ignis, the driver, the bodyguard, the tall dude with the glasses, his skill is cooking. He cooks all the fish and food you get from fighting monsters, and he makes buffs. So he makes haste buffs, damage up, defense up, HP regeneration, and you get it whenever you go to a campfire.
So here's a question I have about this game. Like, everything you're saying sounds like super interesting, and it makes me want to play the game. But like, seeing the open world in this game, is it going to be like an open world like Fallout, or is there like, do I follow a storyline?
Yes. Okay, this is it. It's semi. The developer said it's a linear open world. So think Final Fantasy VII. It's had an open world, but it was linear in the way you progress. You can't go anywhere you
Okay.
want. It progresses, and you can do New Game Plus. You can go back at the end of the game and be like, yes, I want to explore more, do more quests and shit, or you can finish the story. After the story, you can keep playing or do New Game Plus. There's airships and shit. You can go on boats. You can go out in the open world. But it's not like Fallout, because like I know for you, it's like I want a more linear-based story, but I don't. I know you don't mind the open world. You just want a story that's like guide me through your open world.
Let me know where to go.
Yes.
Tell me what I should do,
So for me,
and I'll go do that.
So for me, for people watching, I love Fallout and I love Elder Scrolls, but for Mike, he's not into that more because you like the you like more of like a linear, but it's not the open world part that bothers you. It's just the way they tell
No.
the story.
Like Grand Theft Auto, I love Grand Theft Auto. I can know.
Okay,
I know what mission is next.
Okay,
I know what to go
that's
do.
a perfect example because you know how the old GTA's they would block off areas. Think of that
Yeah.
with this, but it's not blocking off in the sense like, oh, you can't go here. It's more like the story hasn't progressed to that point yet. So they're big open world areas. I don't know how far
Okay.
you can go. You can drive, and you can do autopilot drive like Final Fantasy XIV or Star Wars: The Old Republic style, where you want to go take a shit or go eat. You can leave the car on, and it'll drive, and you can play like Final Fantasy music on the radio. So you can turn on like Final Fantasy X music, Final Fantasy XI, Final Fantasy VII, and you can like watch around. And that's where the VR works.
So you can do that in this game. You can put on Final Fantasy other
Yeah.
soundtracks.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
in
fucking
the car.
amazing.
You can buy them in shops, and you put them in your car, and you can listen to 14, 11, 7, any of the fucking main games. You can listen to even spin-offs like Tactics and shit. Like, and you can listen to them like, and there's specific tracks that work, like Run Far from Final Fantasy XI. So like, if in a woodland area you want to, I don't know, get into the fucking RP mood or something. There's just, I could sit here for a fucking whole episode and talk about it. There's so much shit, dude. Like, that's why I'm really excited, and I'm really trying to keep my expectations low because I don't want to get disappointed. But I don't know, man. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's coming along good. I just fingers crossed, because when the game comes out, we're gonna do another one of these, completely dedicated to this game, a presentation episode of first impressions, and possibly even a review or something. We'll see. But yeah, that's 15. I'm pretty hyped about it, man. I'm pretty hyped. But yeah. So normally what we would do at the end of a show is we would have a Q&A segment. So since this is our first show, we don't have anybody that is leaving any questions or that watches this currently. We have no idea. But if people are curious about anything for either of us or whatever, you know, about the show or us personally, just leave it in the comments. And instead of answering in the comments, we'll just answer it on the next episode or something. So we'll use that as a Q&A section, and we'll just spend the whole remainder of the time talking about whatever the questions. So, yeah. This should be fun. Hopefully we get some good ones. But I think that's going to wrap it up for episode 1. I think we talked about a lot of cool stuff, and we'll save some other cool stuff and news for the next episode, which will probably be next weekend. Maybe Sunday again. We'll have to figure out like a schedule for this, like how this is going to work. We kind of like shot this kind of firing from the hip here a little bit.
Oh yeah, we're figuring it out still. This is this is our first one do it. Like I've done a podcast. I have another podcast I do, but it's like, I do it in a house with everybody there. We live hours apart from each other right now, so we're doing everything over the internet and we're having this conversation. But like I wanted to do a show with you for such a long time because I feel like we have such good. I think I said it before. Like we're both really into video games, but we have different. Yeah, with video games, but we have different things we like about video games. Different perspectives, and I think it helps us
a lot. But we have
Resident Evil, Final Fantasy, we crisscross on for sure. But then we definitely have you get super hardcore into certain things. I'm more of I like to play a game, beat it, and then move on to another game because I like enjoying the different games and stuff. But yeah, for sure.
But what was I gonna say? I just forgot. Oh. So if you're watching this on Twitch, basically we have 2 channels. Oh, that was 4. 2 channels. So with my channel on YouTube, just type in Leonesaurus, and you should find my name on YouTube. It's not hard to miss. It's pretty easy to find. But Mike over here. Oh, wait. Mike over here. He's got his channel he started up. and he's doing his VR, his PSVR. So earlier in the show, if you missed out on it, or if you were watching this on YouTube, that was footage from him actually playing picture-in-picture of that VR demo of the what was it before?
That was actually the full game. That was Until Dawn, Rush of Blood.
So
I'm going to be putting. I got some Job Simulator I'm putting on there. I'm going to be playing more VR games in the coming weeks. Yeah, I'm going to be putting all those up there. It's on Junk Digital is the podcast channel we have right now. It's like I'm on there. There's a few other people. I'm the only one really posting anything right now. But we do have a podcast that we do about movies and video games. I mainly talk about movies and video games. They talk about sports sometimes. I don't pay attention, but
and you do have a website too, right?
Yeah, I got to work on it still. It's junkdigital.com, junkdigi.com, but it's I need to get it up and running. It is a website. I haven't updated it in months. I'm more focused on creating content that I can put on YouTube and put on iTunes.
We were actually thinking about adding all those videos onto YouTube eventually anyway for like a playlist.
Yeah, I got the most recent episode of our Junk Digital podcast on there, episode 29, awesome. I believe it was. That's on there.
You guys should check it out.
All right, so that's all the plugs I have. I'll be putting more videos up. You'll see me going like this in VR with the goggles on my face because that's what I look forward to doing. I'll be doing that.
Yeah. All right, so that is going to end episode 1 of the Co-op Cousins podcast. We thank you guys for joining us, anyone that tuned in or watching here on YouTube. And keep those comments coming in if you have any, and we'll see you on the next one. We are up and out.